の指にその指ごと連れてってあげる。日暮らしがなく開かずの森へ、後戻りはもうできない。
Good evening, everybody. Happy Sunday. Hope you all are doing well. That cover of the main Higurashi opening was done by Shikafuji Lisa, so definitely check her out. I do not own that song, and I want to make sure I give credit where credit is due. How's everybody doing tonight? Hello, Proxima. Hello, Xdude. Hello, Inputs. Welcome to you all. Hope you're doing great. Hey, nice to hear. Majora's Mask. It's always fun. That's a good one to finish at some point, for sure. And speaking of finishing, we got to continue with Chapter 3 now, because there are only 4 Sundays in October, and this is the second one. And I have a feeling we're not approaching the halfway mark. We haven't even gotten to any of the creepy stuff yet, so we'll just see. We'll see how things go, shall we? We can always do some extra streams if needed. Do 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 do. Alright, so we're continuing Higurashi When They Cry Chapter 3 right now. So, up to this point, it's been a pretty wholesome time. We've actually been building our friendship with Satoko and Rika to an extent. And it's just been very nice. I've very much been enjoying it. And of course, I'm sure it's all going to go to heck at some point. Can't wait. So we looked at all the tips. It's time to continue. And we've learned a little bit more about her older brother, Satoshi.
お、そうなんだ。
Yes, really. Oh, that's right. I forget. We were in the console art style. Let's go back to the remake for a bit.
ケイちゃんの親帰ってきたんだね。
Oh, that's right. Our parents also left us alone for like a couple days and we nearly burned the house down. That was good times.
栄養剤臭がプンプンして目は充血してて、
Yeah, I believe it. They said they were pulling multiple all-nighters.
どうも丸二晩徹夜で相当の修羅場だったらしい。
Yep, that's not healthy.
大人は大変だ。
ケイチ君のお父さんって画家さんだったかな。
True.
画家さんも大変なんだね。そういえばそうでしたわね。一度どんな絵を描くか拝見したいものですわ。
He may not draw. He might paint or sculpt. An artist, huh? I'd seen a number of watercolor and acrylic paintings on display, but he had to have been doing some other job too. Just what did Dad do exactly? He's working for the Japanese equivalent of the FBI. He didn't let anyone into his workshop after all. I wanted to sneak a peek one day.
結局家を開けたのは二晩。
Yep, well, I was there.
短い攻略期間だったね。
Mm-hmm.
で、ケイちゃんは異中のキャラを攻略できたのかな。
No, not this run. Rena was the first run.
両親不在はギャルゲー主人公の基本だしね。
Okay, let's not go weird, Mion.
好感度をいっぱい稼いでちゃんとフラグが立ちましたですよ。
Thank you, Rika. I appreciate you. I have no idea what any of you are talking about.
じゃあこれでケイチ君ももう自炊しなくてもよくなっちゃったんだね。
True.
ゆうべは何を作ったのかな。
In the end, I didn't make a single thing myself.
ゆうべはその野菜炒めを。
Yeah.
おお、ケイちゃんも少しは料理らしいものを作れるようになったじゃない。
Hey, we all have to start somewhere, and vegetable stir fry can be a great starting point.
ふーん、野菜炒めを作ったんだね。
Yeah,
美味しく
totally.
できたかな。レナさん、暑苦しいですわよ。
No, she's not.
なんで私にベタベタくっつきますの。
Oh, Rena, personal space.
美味しいご飯に仲良くお皿を洗いっこなのです。はう、いいの。
Rena, your eyes turned into eyebrows again.
暑苦しいと言ってますのよ。
Wait, what does Rena look like there? Ugh. She's also has eyebrows in that. What the heck? What are with these eyes? Is this like an anime thing where they just have like straight black horizontal lines? It's very, very weird.
何の話？
Mion, utterly confused, asked me for clarification, but I just barely, albeit transparently, averted my eyes.
そうそう。みんなさ、今日の午後に予定はあるかい？ないよね。あるわけないよね。
Or does Gaming Club have to meet? Today was Saturday, the beautiful day on which were liberated from the confines of school in the afternoon. Actually, the school in Hinamizawa had slightly different Saturdays than those in the city. There were a lot of students here who brought a bento, ate it at lunch, and then went to play in the school or around the schoolyard. You could say that the entire school turned into a children's playground. That's nice of teacher to do that. There were mountains behind the school, and if you went down that way, you'd find mountain streams. You could avoid the straw and sunlight and make conversation in the classroom if you wanted to. You could also play hide-and-seek in the construction pipes. That does not sound like a good idea. Of course, you were free to go home as well. There were some kids who went home and helped water the fields or tended the stores. If Mion was bringing up the afternoon like this, then it must have been time for some crazy big club event. However, sadly I had something I needed to do before taking part in whatever it was.
お仕事ですか。
Sure,
ついてないのです。
she said with a smile
ど
on
ん
her
な仕
face.
事でございましょうね。お父さんの画家の仕事のお手伝いとか。
My dad wants me to model. Totally. Here, Keiichi, wear this glove. Cool. Now I can draw the glove.
お父さんの絵のモデルになるとか。
Ren and I had the same idea. I don't know how to feel about that.
モデル。ヌード。
No, Rena. Definitely not that one. Don't be weird. I looked into Rena's eyes, and saw myself completely naked in a questionable pose with a single rose in my mouth.
ないない。それだけは100万積まれても絶対にない。
To get rid of Rena's delusions, I grabbed her head and swung it from side to side. Well, that seems a little excessive.
とまあ愉快な妄想は置いといてだ。とにかく俺にはちょっとお昼に仕事がある。それが終わってからの合流でいいなら OK だぞ。
Just once, couldn't we have a visual novel with no sexual innuendos? Or at least if it does, make them genuinely clever and enjoyable.
お昼に仕事？おー、そりゃなんだかかっこよさげじゃない。
Yeah!
なになに？
I'm the lunch lady today.
ひょっとして各界の VIP との会食？
Do I really look like the kind of guy who could do
ビ
that?
ジネスランチとか？
実に悲しいことだが正解だ。
Yes! Everyone shouts wildly, surprised. Please get a CG of him, like, sweet talking all of the executives. It was true. Today I'd be on the job with my family. For my dad's job, he was having about 10 people from the publishing agency over for a house party. He called people from work for the party the day after having stayed up 2 nights in a row. I am amazed at their vitality. Adults have it pretty rough. Of course, it would be incredibly uncomfortable for me. It would be really tiring to have to force myself to smile at some old dudes I didn't know. But they were my dad's important business connections, so offending them would be bad. Well, with all that said, it was going to get very uncomfortable for me today, starting at lunch.
これは利発そうなお子さんで。
具足の圭一です。圭一、こちらは出版社の本田さ
Oh,
んだ。
no way! We have the CEO from Honda here? That's pretty cool.
そしてこちらは印刷会社の井上さん。
Very nice.
ご挨拶しなさい。
どうもこんにちは。息子の圭一です。父がいつもお世話になっております。
圭一くんもお父さんのように絵は描かれるのですか？
You probably don't want to see them.
圭一くんの絵もぜひ拝見したい
No,
な。
no, trust me, dude. You really don't want to see them. My dad had such a brazen occupation, that of an artist. Although, I don't really know what kinds of things he creates. I don't really care, and don't want to see anyway. Dad's so tight-fisted about it, so he doesn't show them to me very often anyway. I'm not a kid anymore, so I couldn't care at all if they were pictures of naked ladies or anything.
圭一くんもお父さんに指示してしっかり勉強すればきっとお父さんのような素晴らしい作家になれますからね。
I gotta say, out of all the random strangers in the game thus far, Man is probably one of the best.
こ
He's so
こだけの
positive.
話ですけど
Uh-oh.
親父ってそんなにすごい画家なんです
Bruh! Casey, don't throw your dad down like that. I readied myself and whispered my question. It might have seemed odd for his son to be asking this, but when I did, he gave me this really strange grin and tightly clamped down onto my shoulders.
それはもう本当に素晴らしい作家さんなんですよ。
Alright, that's all I wanted to know, dude. I'm sold.
そうですか
The kid's like, I don't know. My dad's not that great.
それは良かったです。
購入制限はないしファンサービスはするし
Oh
フ
no.
ァンレターには必ずお返事をくれるし
Uh-huh.
世間のニーズもちゃんと汲み取っていて研究熱心
Okay, I don't want to hear any more about this.
靴下は脱がしたら絶対に NG
Oh, brother.
それはメガネや制服だって同じなんですよそこを前原先生はよく理解している
Uh-huh.
イベントは参加ごとに必ず壁で大行列だし
すみません。絵ってのは壁に飾るものじゃないんですか？
そんなことはない。初めは誰もが島中から始めるんです。そして島角。大通りの島角と階段を登って、
Okay, man, you're getting a little weird here.
そして至る頂点が壁なんです。あなたもぜひ前原先生と合体で出展できるような
Okay, this
大
guy's very
作家
weird.
になってくださいね。応援していますよ。
I appreciate it, Mr. Honda, but it's fine to have a lot of passion for the things you like, but I didn't get it. But it seemed that the work of art ran pretty deep. The world of art ran pretty deep. It was probably a much deeper world than I could have imagined. I decided to leave it at that. Then I realized my mom was calling me from the other side of the room.
圭一、電話よ。お友達から。
A lucky break! Maybe I could get out of this uncomfortable business party by using a friend's phone call as an excuse. I scampered over to the front door and snatched up the receiver my mom had left there.
もしもし、俺。
もしもし俺
Oh boy!
なんて挨拶はございませんですわよ、ケイチさん。
It is now.
もう少し言葉遣いをお勉強なさいませ。
I was of the opinion that the person speaking to me had a far stranger way of talking.
なんだ、さとこじゃねえか。お前が俺のところに電話してくるなんて珍しいな。
What is this piano music?
のんきなことを言ってる場合ではありませんのよ。
I like it though.
それよりもケイチさん、あなたいつになったらこっちに来れますの？
悪い。こっちもなんだか長引いちゃってさ。
Sorry, man is talking about art and he's getting a little excited about it. I'm probably gonna be another 2 hours.
なかなか解放してもらえないんだよ。
You'll have to hold off on laser tag it for now.
俺も早く部活に加わりたいんだけどさ。
違いますですわよ、ケイチさん。今日は部活ではありませんわ。実践ですのよ。
Satoko's voice was different from normal. I could feel the urgency in it drifting through the phone.
実践？なんだか穏やかな話じゃないな。どういう状況なんだ？
Oh no.
詳しくは後からの説明にいたしますわ。
Is Colin causing havoc on the Advanced Wars community again?
とにかく絶対的な危機なんですの。このままでは負けてしまうでございますわ。
What on earth was going on? Could it have been a fight? I didn't know who they were, but laying a hand on someone from Hinamezawa was an absolutely terrible idea.
おう、わかった。すぐに火星に行くぜ。場所はどこだ？
沖宮小学校のグラウンドですわ。駅まで来れば看板があるからわかりますですわよ。とにかく大急ぎですの。
The school campus. The situation could have a lot of people involved. Could it have turned into an all-out brawl? Who is the enemy here anyway? Ooh, I'm on
わか
fire!
った。すぐ行く。武器も持って行った方がいいか。金属バットでも持っていくか。
金属バットをお持ちですの？それは心強いですわよ。お待ち申し上げておりますですわ。
The call cut off abruptly. I needed to hurry.
おう、ケイイチ、探したんだぞ。こちらの出口さんがな、ぜひ次のコピーし。
そんなことよりバットないかな。金属バット。
Uh-oh, Keiichi. Last time you used a bat, it was not good.
なければ長物なら何でもいいや。
長ければ何でもいいなら、父さんのゴルフクラブが物置にあるぞ。
That didn't have the same kind of impact, but a golf club was a splendid weapon too. It was lighter than a baseball bat and maybe easier for me to use.
サンキュー。それ借りるよ。俺ちょっと友達のところに行かなきゃならない用事ができちゃったんだ。
No explanation.
ごめん。
ケイイチ、待ちなさい。
I grabbed a golf club, jumped on my bike, and headed straight for town. Wait for me, Satoko. I'll be right there. Just hold out until then. I didn't actually know where Okinomiya Elementary was exactly, but Satoko's phone call seemed to demand urgency, so I rushed out without asking her how to get there. But if I went to the station, there would be signs. At least I feel that's what she said. Then I heard the jingling of a bicycle belt from behind me. Hey!
こんにちはなのですよ。
Hey, Rika.
おう、リカちゃんか。
ケイイチ、早かったです。いっ
Anything to get away from man.
ぱい急いだですね。
You know it. Damn! This isn't the time to be out of breath. I need to hurry.
すまん。沖宮小学校ってのはどこだ？
ご案内しますです。
Thanks, Rika.
ついてくるですよ。
Rika-chan rode off on her bike. I followed her.
急に里子に呼び出されたんだが、一体どういうことになってるんだ？
はじめはこちらが優勢だったのです。ところが途中から向こうが助っ人を入れてきたのです。
I knew it was Colin.
ズルなのです。
A helper? What cowards? Calling for reinforcements the minute they realized they'd lose.
みんなバッタバッタと打ち取られましたのです。歯が立たないのですよ。
Goop. Sounds like they were pretty strong.
とにかく詳しい話は後だ。時間がないんだろ。急いでくれ。
お任せなのです。
Let's go. With Rika-chan leading the way, we headed straight for the elementary school grounds. I asked Rika-chan something during that time. It seemed that all of the club members besides me were a part of this fight. Damn. So what Mion was trying to tell everyone was that this would happen? If I had known that, I would have just ditched my family job. But it was too late for regrets. According to Rika-chan, we had a one-sided advantage at the start, but our angry foes had brought in a powerful ally. The club members put up a resistance and went against them one by one, but apparently they couldn't stand up to them.
部活メンバー総がかりで勝てない？一体そりゃどんな化け物なんだ？
すごいのです。敵は正統派なのですよ。
Is what? Orthodox? So they weren't using thuggish brawling tactics, but had actually studied karate or something? Is that what she meant?
もう圭一だけが頼みの綱なのですよ。
Okinomiya Elementary came into view. I could hear so many voices raising hell over there.
ミヨン、レナ、サトコ、今行くからな。俺がまとめてぶっ潰してやるぜ。
Sure. Rika's like, yeah! There were a lot of bicycles left out in front of the school. I left mine there next to them in the same way. I could tell there were a lot of people flooding the campus. Were the two armies in the midst of a huge no-holds-barred brawl? I took my golf club in hand. Whoosh! I swung it. I felt the sensation of it sticking firmly to my palm. Great! The feedback wasn't bad. I'm gonna go all out with this thing. I dashed at a breakneck speed to the school gate, swinging it around.
ついてこい、リカちゃん。男前原圭一のバンプ不当な大活躍を見せてやるぜ。
We're about to humiliate ourselves.
ああ、圭一がとても頼もしいのです。ゴルフクラブで大暴れなのです。
This is one of my favorite out-of-context lines in the whole game. Rika-chan applauded me, though a little dryly, lauding my valiance. I'm pretty sure she's mocking you. The manly Keiji Maebara put it behind him and headed for the place where he may die.
でも圭一、どうして今日はゴルフクラブなのですか？
仕方ないだろう。俺も最初はバットの方がいいと思ったんだが、うちってバットなくってさ、素手よりははるかにマシだと思って、せめてゴルフクラブを持ってきたんだ。
Uh-huh.
偉いのですよ。圭一をなでなでしてあげますです。ゴルフクラブで大暴れが楽しみなのですよ。
Despite the emergency situation, Rika-chan reached up and stroked me on the head.
おい、ふざけてる場合かよ。え？
Just then, an extremely loud metallic sound rang out, and I heard many people cheering.
レフト、あー抜けた。回れ、二塁行けるぞ、二塁。
They're playing baseball!
センター、落ち着いて。三塁へ送って。
The center fielder caught the ball and after a brief pause sent it flying to third base. Can't wait to see Keiji bat with a golf club. If he had pitched it wildly, it might get there. He gave up the second on second and threw it to third with time to spare. The instructions from the bench, they were solid. Wait, what?
あ、圭一くん来てくれたよ。さとこちゃん、圭一くん来てくれたよ。遅すぎですわ。油を売るのはガソリンスタンドだけで十分でございますわよ。
Love the pun, Satogo.
その前原君って子は本当に助っ人になれるんですか？
I'm sorry, this is a new character. Who the heck is this? Ugh. He looks like a lady in this one. How about here? Oh, he looks exceptionally smug here. Fantastic. His name is Eerie. Oh, that's fun. Eerie. I bet he's the bad guy.
相手はあの強豪校のエース、左腕の亀田君ですよ。
I like him in this art style. He looks a little nicer here. Not as smug.
甲子園クラスの投手を打ち崩せるなんて、一体どんな助っ人なんです？
大丈夫です。圭一くんならきっと逆転させてくれますよ。
You underestimate my power.
本当に頼もしい人なんです。
What? He's the pinch hitter we brought in to take out left arm Kamita with his bullet fastball? The one who had a no-hit, no-run game after another during the regional qualifiers? The undefeated demon pitcher of Ushima? The super high school level pitcher that had already been marked by professional scouts? He's going to win against him?
あんなヘナチョコピッチャーなんか圭一さんには目じゃないですのよ。あんな球楽勝でバックスクリーンを越してくださいますわ。
I thought we were going to an all-out brawl. Super Smash Bros. Style. There was a slugger like that in this prefecture? I had no idea. He must have gone under the radar. Hey! That scout stood up. Hey! Take a picture! His full name is Keiichi Maebara. Look him up in the database and send his history to our office.
どれが前原圭一だ？写真
A whole lot of sports journalists, led by Satoko, gripped their cameras tightly and searched for the rumored Keiichi Maebara. What is going on? Why are we, like, being talked up as this professional baseball player? As for me, I was so dazed at what was happening that I was frozen in place with my golf club in the air.
ケイチさんこっちですわよ。え？
The camera people stared at me for their viewfinders, and just like I had, they turned to stone. In the hands of their gallant pinch hitter, Keiichi Maebara was a golf club. Nobody could seem to understand why I was holding something like this. At this point, neither did I. A cold, greasy sweat dripped from me. The first one to break the inordinately awkward silence was Rena.
ケイチくん。
おう。
一つ聞いてよろしいですの？
Please don't. Psychic waves of my entreaty flowed out of my face along with my sweat. It somehow seemed to reach the two of them. The deathly quiet reporters all parted, as Moses once parted the sea. But Moses probably didn't go for the parted seas this quietly.
野球の試合なら初めからそう言え。
That's true. Satoko definitely made it sound like there was like a fight going on.
私言いませんでした？
No!
第一バット持ってグラウンドに来いって言ったら野球以外に何を思いつくわけですの？
Well, you have to understand, Keiichi usually uses the baseball bat for, self-defense.
というか何をどう間違ったらゴルフクラブを持ってくるって発想になるわけでございますの？きっとね。
Rena's like, let me try to bail you out here.
暗いムードになったチームを明るくして盛り上げようとしてケイチくんがわざとやってくれたんだと思うな。
Rena smiled bitterly and covered for me with all her might. Please believe her, everyone. I'm begging you.
ケイチはゴルフが大好きなのですよ。
Yeah! Especially mini golf.
なでなで。
Rika-chan started patting my head, a broad grin on her face all the while. I pushed her hand away, grabbed her from behind by her suspenders, and picked her up like a kitten. Oh, that's gonna get you in trouble.
リカちゃん、なんでさっき駅で会った時野球だって教えてくれなかったんだよ。
I thought it would be funny if you did it.
そうすりゃ赤っ端を書かずに済んだのに。
ニパー。
What a troll. Rika-chan's smile was like the sun, so incredibly innocent. She's glowing. When I saw Rika-chan's radiant smile, I couldn't help but feel like I could forgive anything she did. Yep, and she's using that to her advantage. However, if Rika-chan thought I actually would, then she had another thing coming!
というわけで、これはお仕置きだ。レナ。
Rika-chan still plucked up in my hand, I offered her to Rena. That's right. The kittenified Rika-chan sent Rena's voltage into overcharge. Uh-oh.
もらったもらった。レナがもらったんだよ。かわいいよ。
Hop. Spinny spinny. Rena stuck out her tongue like a chameleon and preyed upon Rika-chan while spinning her around. This is weird. Blech! Well, we got our thumbnail, I guess. Where did Rika's eyes go? Oh my gosh. This is great. Rena held her tight as a vice and began to get her fill of rubbing her cheek into Rika-chan's. Why does she have cat ears and a tail? Did she just wear that? Satoko's just like, what is going on? Their cheeks rubbed together tightly. Rika-chan's face. It looked like it was being crushed by Rena's.
何があったかは存じませんけど、リカが自業自得のようですわね。
ああ。
Rika looks like traumatized by this.
俺も最近ようやくリカちゃんがただ可愛いだけじゃないと悟ったぞ。
ケイチ君に許可をもらったんだよ。お持ち帰り。
Rena, did you take your pills today? This is weird. For the moment, I just gave her a 3-minute timeout.
ところでサトコ、緊急の呼び出しってのは野球ってことなのか？
そうですわ。ご家族でホームパーティーだったんですって。悪いことをしましたわね。でもこういう時は家族よりも仲間の危機の方が最優先と決まっていますのよ。
Yeah, my dad might lose some business because I left, though. You never know. Man was a little weird. I felt like that's what I was supposed to be saying, not you. Well, it was just a business party for my dad, I guess. I honestly felt glad to be called out here.
それでその危機的状況というのはどんな具合なんだ？ 6対7ってことは負けてるのがうちのチームってことか。ん？9回の裏で2アウト？なんだこの試合もうほとんど終わりかけてるじゃないかよ。
Well, it's a good thing I'm no stranger to baseball, right, folks?
圭一さんがもっと早く来ればもう少し余裕がありましたのよ。
Well, excuse me for not taking my private jet.
ここまで引き伸ばすのにどれだけ苦労したとお思いですの？
分かったよ悪かったよ。んで俺の仕事はなんだ？ピンチヒッターでもやるのか？ならば任せろ。こう見えても俺引っ越す前は結構バッティングセンターに通ってたんだぞ。
Oh, he actually does have experience. He's not just talking out of his butt.
親父が憂さ晴らしに行くときよく付き合わされてさ、ミートバッティングだったらそこそこの自信が。
A tremendous sound rang out, the likes of which I'd never heard before. The catcher's mitt trembled, sending a light cloud of dust in the air, telling me the tremendous sound had come from the ball.
ちょっと待ておい、今の凄まじい剛速球は一体なんだ？
驚いた？うん。あれ、本物の甲子園ピッチャーなんだよ。
Why are we playing them at an elementary school? What's he doing here?
スポーツ新聞でも有名な高校野球のエース、左腕の亀田君って知らない？
No.
悪いけど知らん。で、ミオン、お前なんだよその格好は。
Okay. What are you commenting on there, buddy? Mion showed up, and to my surprise, she was wrapped up in bandages. No, she's not. She very clearly is not wrapped up in bandages right now. Just what on earth happened?
途中から来た圭一君には最初から説明がいるよね。
お、なんだリカちゃんはもういいのか？
可愛いのいっぱい楽しんだよ。ほよほよでやわやわでふにふに。
Rena, stop it. Why is everybody in this game so weird?
ほっぺだけでご飯3杯はいける。もうお嫁に行けないのです。
I'm not even gonna comment on that one. I am not reading that one out loud. It almost flipped my own delusion switch. I had to put a stop to it using logic. Stop! Why is everybody this freaking weird? I was an adult. No, you're 15 or 16, I think.
じゃあ説明を頼む。何をどう間違えたらこんな草野球対決に甲子園ピッチャーのリリーフが登場するんだ。
Everyone exchanged glances. Then Rena spoke up for all of them.
最初はね、普通の野球対決だったの。
ひなみざわファイターズと沖宮タイタンズはささやかながらも因縁の対決でさ。
Grudge match, huh?
今回もささやかに大盛り上がりしてたわけ。
まあ平たく言えば学校対決ですわね。ひなみざわと沖宮の学校の因縁試合なんですの。因縁って言ってもまあ和気あいあいとしたものなんだけどね。
で、それになんでうちの部活メンバーが参加してるんだ？ユニフォームを着てるやつもいれば私服のやつもいるし、そもそも俺たちって野球部ってわけじゃないだろう。
つまり、割といい加減なの。
Do we have to pay off Mion's gambling debts? Is that why we're doing this?
今日たまたまチームに欠員が出たって言うんでさ、それじゃあせっかくだからって言って急遽私たちが乱入することになったってわけよ。
Never mind. I see. So if there weren't enough members, anyone could come to the rescue, whether boy or girl, and no matter what grade they were in. That jumbled together feeling was the hallmark of our school.
リカちゃんに聞いた話だと最初のうちは押しまくってたらしいじゃないか。
ミーはすごいバッターなのですよ。右へ左へホームランなのです。
Whoa! So she's the Pablo of the game. Mion proudly stuck out her chest. Doing so seemed to hurt her somehow, and she groaned pathetically. I feel like she should have had new sprites for this.
ええ、ミオンさんが登場するたびに走者一掃の大ホームランが飛び出すんですの。
We only have 6 points, so it couldn't have been that much.
サトコと違ってちゃんとバットにボールが当たるのですよ。
Satoko looks like she's a fast little bugger, so maybe she can bunt.
いいかみ
Rika Savage.
まあなんとなく話は分かった。
What console am I? This is on Steam, but this game has been released on multiple different things. Like this was released on one of the PlayStations as well, but I'm playing just Steam on my PC.
あの甲子園ピッチャーが登場するまでは楽勝ムードだったというわけだ。
そういうこと。序盤は完全にうちのチームの流れでね。点にはならないまでもガンガン出塁して攻めまくってたんだけどね。
たまたまね、今日の試合にあの亀田くんが見物に来てたの。
Apparently, Kameda attends a fairly well-known school in our prefecture that frequently sent people to Koshin. And this man is known as the ace of the baseball team. Kameda seemed to be quite skilled. Now that I thought about it, it was certainly strange to see cameramen with journalist armbands here to watch a casual baseball game out in the sticks like this.
亀田は小さい頃沖宮タイタンズにいたことがあるのだそうです。
話は見えてきたでしょ。昔のチームが劣勢になって、つまりそれで飛び入りでリリーフ登板することになって、もうバッタよ。出塁はおろか、ファールも打てないありさまなわけ。
でも甲子園ピッチャーの乱入なんて草野球の試合でずるいですわよ。
Yeah, it seems a little like a bit of a low blow. All the boys wearing the Hinamizawa Fighters uniform were hanging their heads in disappointment. I knew almost all their faces. Isn't everyone here a classmate? Oh, I see. We're the only school in Hinamizawa, after all.
お、富田君に岡村君じゃないか。君たちも野球チームだったのか。
前原さん。
So they got this like professional baseball player to beat a bunch of kids. Wow. How low. His uniform was brand new and not very dirty, fresh off the presses. I could see handmade banners with their names written on them in the grandstands. I see. Their families came to root for them in their debut game today.
岡村のバットは今日のためにお父さんがプレゼントしてくれたそうなのですよ。
Uh-oh. The brand new bat sparkled. With that kind of present, a man just has to perform well.
いっぱい今日のために素振りとかしてきましたのよ。富田さんなんかやりすぎて手の皮がむけちゃって、ほら気の毒に。
Uh-oh. His torn hand looked like it hurt, but from that injury, you could sense his backbone. I get it, guys. You wanted to make your big moment a good one. The savior of the Okinamiya Titans. We could hear the sounds of this Kameda-kun's tremendous fastball practice. This was no joke. He was definitely on a level far above high school kids. But at his level, he clearly shouldn't have been interrupting a grass lot game, grudge match though it may have been. He should have understood how much better he was too.
あいつ、こいつら相手にも本気で投げやがったのか。
I'm gonna beat these 10-year-olds. It's gonna be great. Alright,
レナ
Kameda.
はこんなの大人げないと思う。
I don't know if it's immature, he's just being a douche. Rena's eyes grew harsh. It took a lot to get Rena mad. Chapter 1 would like to say something. As for Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun, they were sniffling, fighting back tears. We heard another tremendous noise from the mitt. I turned around, and this left-arm Kameda-kun guy is looking at us and grinning boldly.
というわけよ。
Uh-oh, that's her murder face.
こうなったらやるしかないでし
No,
ょ。
not quite. That's like her transitionary glare.
実戦態勢で。
ああ、どうやだ。本気で行くしかないな。
Let's get dangerous.
でね、本気で言ってみたの。それでみーちゃんが大自爆して。
Uh-oh. Mion, embarrassed, scratched her head, and then a moment later doubled over in pain.
自爆って一体何をどう自爆したら
He
こ
threw
ん
a
なに大
bomb.
怪我できるんだ。
説明するととてつもなく長いですわね。一つ言えるのはここまでして戦果なしということぐらいですわね。
Oof. Hey, Ruben, welcome to the stream. Yeah, we're We're at a baseball game, and we apparently have to do something about a professional baseball pitcher who is, like, going out of his way to school a bunch of 10-year-olds. Yeah, he's that kind of guy, so we gotta teach him a lesson. I don't know if we will be able to, but we gotta try. I'm sorry, wait, what? Can I hear that again?
ここまで体を張ったのに1点も入れられないなんて。
せっかくの秘策も台無しでかわいそうなの
You
です。
could have fooled us, Rika. I'm sorry, can I hear that again?
ここまで体を張ったのに1点も入れられないなんて。ここまで体を張ったのに1点も入れられないなんて。
I love it. That's a fantastic acting job. I couldn't even imagine what sort of secret plan it was, but it must have been crazy enough to get her that badly hurt.
でもまあ失敗したおかげでまだ野球でいられるんだろ。
うん、ちょっとみーちゃんの奥の手は野球らしくなかったと思うかな。こうなっては仕方ないでございましょう。
Oh, that's right. This is your favorite question arc. Interesting. I mean, I'm enjoying it thus far. Everybody's super weird, but it's definitely making me like Satoko a bit more. I'm in for a ride. That's why we're here.
ここは正々堂々野球らしく決着をつけるしかないということですわ。
Got it. We'll distract him.
そうそう。
Can't wait. I don't mean to
野球
brag.
らしく蹴りをつけないとね。
I don't mean to brag, but I played a lot of backyard baseball on my channel, and I'm pretty decent at Mario Super Sluggers, so real fake baseball should be no problem. I think normal people would have given up and gone for a frontal attack, but as a member of our club, I wasn't about to accept that so easily.
野球らしくってのが引っかかるぞ。野球らしく見えれば手段は問わないってことだろ。
うん、私たちの部の信条
Why
だ
is
し
Rena speaking in stars?
そういうことですわね。手段を選ばないことこそ我が部の美徳でございましたよ。
Rena and Satoko laughed to each other delightfully. It wasn't really a virtue we could brag about, but the best thing about our club was that we never rolled over and gave up.
でもカメラがずらーりといるからなかなかズルはできないのです。
We gotta cheat, right? Hey, we remember what Arthur taught us about that. No good could come from cheating. Rika-chan spread her arms wide, indicating the array of reporters in the bleachers. She was right. With all those cameramen watching us through those cameras with giant telephoto lenses, foul play would be fairly tough. Why are there all these reporters here like, oh my gosh, famous, like, superstar professional high school baseball player is schooling a bunch of 10-year-olds. This is awesome. It's like, shouldn't they be shaming this guy?
それがネックだったんだよ。これだけの囚人監視があるとなかなか大胆な手が取れない
It's
し。
the equivalent of the gym teacher joining the losing team.
いてててててて。
みーちゃんの手は決しておしとやかだとは思わなかったけどな。
Satoko and Rika-chan both nodded behind Rena.
じゃあここで本題に戻るぞ。
To defeat
今
the
我がチームは
Huns.
1点差で負けてるんだよな。
Do we have anyone on
しか
base?
ももう9回の裏でアウトも2個取られちゃってるの。
おじさんの作戦がうまくいってれば今頃は満塁のはずなんだけどな。
失敗した作戦を嘆いても始まりませんですのよ。
Did she like tackle the guy?
へこたれず次の手を打ってこそ我が部でございましたよ。
Alright, let's go! Satoko said that eagerly, trying to cheer up the downcast Mion, whose secret plan had failed. It may have failed, but Satoko still seemed to have another.
サトコがなかなか威勢がいいじゃないか。
She's literally sweating bullets right now.
ってことは何か奥の手があるってことか。
圭一君、この子を誰だと思ってるのかな。
I think she's Satoko Hojo.
さとこちゃんだよ。北条さとこちゃん。
That was right. We called her Trapmaster Satoko, didn't we? She would ensnare her opponent at the perfect moment, the very end. Everyone in our club knew that we could never, ever let our guards down against Satoko.
私が仕込んだとはいえ末恐ろしく成長してくれたもんだよ。僅差を制することに関しては私でも舌を巻く時があるね。
ちなみに 次の打者がミーで、その次の打者がサトコなのです。
Okay, do we have anybody on base? We were losing by 1 point, so if we could get the next runner on a base, then the runner after that could hit a big one and end the match. And that final batter was Satoko!
ねえ、勝てそうな気がしてきたでしょ。
No!
どういう仕掛けか想像もつかんが、絶対何かの罠だと断言できる。
I made a pit underneath the pitcher's mound with sharpened stakes at the bottom. I just have to pull the trap door.
俺が敵のピッチャーなら絶対に敬遠だ。
There was no way Satoko was going to hit a home run, even in my dreams. But if she was going to stand in the batter's box normally, without any kind of plan, I can't think of anything else she could do.
そのサトコが俺を呼び出した。なるほど、読めてきたぜ。
You want me to get an intentional walk? It meant that I was a necessary piece of Sotoko's trap.
ワクワクするね。サトコちゃんどんなことをするのかな。
Keiji, you need to get your face bashed in by the fastball so that way we get a walk. That's what it's gonna be.
僕もサトコのサヨナラホームランが楽しみなのです。
I think we'll be waiting a long time for that one, Rika.
そのためにはケイちゃんの働きが
I
欠かせない。
swear if you hired me here if you made me come here just to be expendable, like getting beaten up.
わかるね。これが逆転の最後のチャンス。絶対に失敗できない。
おう、分かってるぜそんなことを。見てろ、俺とサトコででっかい大逆転を拝ませてやるぜ。
で
I
は
do
ケ
love
イチさん、
turnabouts.
これから手順を説明しますわ。ちょっとお耳を拝借しましたよ。
Got it! Satoko and I huddled up in a hidden place and held a briefing that anyone watching could tell was suspicious.
前原さんと北条は何を話してるんだろう。委員長みたいにとんでもない奥の手で自白しない
Is
ことを
this just gonna be a noodle incident that we don't ever learn what Mion actually did? Our teammates, Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun, seemed very nervous. Rena gave them a wide smile, trying to dispel their anxiety.
大丈夫だよみんな。サトコちゃんとケイチくんならきっとやり遂げてくれるから。
Wanna bet? How much you wanna bet?
龍吾さん、相手は甲子園級のピッチャーなんですよ。いくら北条が得意の罠にはめようとしても。
まあみんな黙って見てなって。面白いゲームが見られるからね。
Alright, we'll see. Mion, who knew everything about to transpire, looked like she was having a hard time stifling the laughter bubbling up within her. She was so terrifying as an enemy, but so reliable as an ally. Mion waved her hands at the umpire.
代打が出ます。私、園崎美音に代わって前原圭一で。
本当に彼で大丈夫なんですか？
Yes, don't worry about it, Mr. Eerie. Great name for a horror game, by the way. The umpire turned an uneasy gaze on the pinch hitter who had just jumped in with a golf club. That's right, we still have a golf club.
ケイチくんは甘く見ない方がいいです
That
ね。
can't be in the rules. The members of our club were the only ones grinning with wholehearted confidence. To be continued. In Higurashi when they cry. Is this just gonna cut to like, oh, and then we absolutely failed? And it won't even tell us what the plan was. It better not end like this. Okay, no, we're still here. Satoko's plan was definitely simple, but scrupulous. It even looked like the entire situation had gone according to her calculations. The fact that we were losing by 1 point. The fact that I had come late. The fact that Satoko was the last batter. It even felt like, kind of like this had already been set up before the game started. There had been a long time out since I got here. And during that time, the opposing pitcher, Kameda-kun, took a bathroom break. Even that felt calculated. No, this is Satoko we're talking about. So maybe she gave him a laxative somehow, calculated to get him to use the bathroom at this exact moment. And while he was a long way off, shut up in the bathroom, our plan would begin. The opposing pitcher, Kameda-kun, there he was. In front of the urinal, pleasantly taking care of business. He thought it was only natural he would win at a grass lot game like this, and relaxed enough to relieve himself without a care in the world. Maybe that's how he wanted to appear. However, his relaxed state was itself our chance. Right now, you've already conceded to our club. I too casually walked into the bathroom. There were 3 urinals. Kameda-kun was doing his business at the farthest one. I went to the one next to him. That is breaking the urinal code of honor. Excuse me. If you can avoid it, you always avoid taking the one directly next to somebody. What a... Alright. Normally, you would leave one urinal open. Yes! You would. That is the law. Kamada-kun seemed to notice me. I had stood right next to him after all.
なんだ誰かと思えば大ピンチヒッター
Okay, this is already incredibly unrealistic. Men never talk in the bathroom. Especially if we're using the urinals adjacent to each other. That does not happen. He recalled seeing me swing the golf club around like an idiot, and he couldn't seem to resist the urge to laugh. I, however, wasn't frustrated in the slightest. The match had already been won the moment I arrived. The game had been decided as a big upset for our team. So now, all I had to do was push things along exactly how Satoko planned. I'm the one who should be laughing.
ケイチくん、うまくやれるかな。大丈夫でしたよ。本気のケイチさんならこんなの朝飯前ですわ。
Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun, our underclassmen, asked another question with much trepidation.
本当に前原さんはあのピッチャーを攻略できるんですか？
That's true. I forgot. Everybody in this game is an absolute nutcase. That's why.
あんたたちケイちゃんと同じクラスで生活してて何にも感じないわけ？彼はね、ゆくゆくはあの力で世界を制するかもしれない。
If our world was run by Keiichi, that would be a bad future.
ケイちゃんと組めば世界制覇は容易だな。
I definitely don't like picturing that with the malevolent smiles on their face right now.
世界
Our teammates exchanged glances. Did my Bara senpai really have such incredible strength? Just what kind of strength could that be? My question caused Kamada-kun to stare in bewilderment, and for a moment he didn't know what to say.
悪いちょっとよく聞こえなかったもう一度言ってくれるか
I smiled thinly, looked straight ahead, and said it once more clearly.
もう一度だけ言う俺たちを勝たせろ
Right to the point. No threats, or beating around the bush, or anything. Kamada's brain couldn't figure out the meaning of what I'd said, and I could clearly tell he was confused.
バカも休み休み
Bruh, you're the one who's like going all out ham-fisted against 10-year-olds.
俺たちを勝たせろだお前正気か
俺からの要求は伝えた返事はどっちだイエスかノー
What's your answer? Is it yes, or is it oh, yes?
そんなの迷うまでもない誰がお前らを勝たせるもんかお前の頭は少し変じゃないのか
Well, yes, but that's beside the point. Kamada didn't hide his bewilderment. He didn't want to be around someone who would babble on like this for another second at the urinals. I don't blame him! Those thoughts spilled into his expression, and he quickly moved to leave the bathroom.
亀田君君にとって勝利は何だ
決まってる尊く絶対的で至上目的だ
Uh-huh.
それは他の何にも変えられない
He grinned lightly as he answered, as if to make fun of me.
スポーツマンらしい返事だな勝利こそ絶対何にも変えられないってわけだ
そんなのは当たり前だろどんな脅しにも買収にも勝利を放棄させるような対価は存在しない
I was waiting for those words. I, after spinning around 3.5 times, pointed right at Kamada's face.
ならば聞くべきじゃないのかそれほど尊い勝利を放棄させるに値するどんな対価が提供されるのかを
何よバカなこと
What is happening?
そんなもの存在するわけがない
He was denying it, but he stopped. He stopped! He was waiting. He was waiting for me to present some attractive conditions.
君は雑誌のインタビューに好物は焼肉で嫌いなものは甘いものだと答えたらしいが
I like both.
それは嘘じゃないのかい
What?
何
例えば君が焼肉食い放題に行ったとする君が皿に持ってくるのは一体何だロースかカルビ
Korean
か
barbecue.
牛タンの山か
Oh, it's so delicious.
違うよな君が持ってくるのは肉じゃない食い放題のプリンやゼリーやケーキなのだ女の子が喜びそうな 綺麗で可愛らしくて愛くるしい。
This is only gonna work because it's the 80s.
そんな洋
Literally.
菓子が大好きなんだよな。
How scandalous for him to like dessert. Why is this like a scandal? He's like, oh yeah, I like meat. I'm not a huge fan of like sweet things. It's like, literally this only works because it's the 80s, and it's like, oh, you like dessert? Oh, what are you, a girl? It's like, bro, I can throw a fastball at 90 miles an hour. Girl! Wow. Our club already knew that he ate a mountain of desserts when he went to the grilled meat buffet. There's such a thing as a grilled meat buffet? Is that a Japan thing? And we were well aware of his embarrassment at his weakness for sweets despite his age. Kamada-kun couldn't possibly have known that the particular grilled meat buffet chain in Shishibone was owned by a member of the Sonozaki family. Oh my gosh, wait, is he going to the Hooters that Shion works at as well? Actually, Shion may not exist in this timeline. What the heck? I remember all the creepy guys who were at the Hooters who were just eating all the desserts. Well, I guess maybe you don't want to be associated with them. Okay, fair enough. You get my point, though. I'll have to be careful when I go out to eat with my parents from now on.
違う。俺が好きなのは
違う。お前が好きなのは色とりどりのクリームで優しく可愛らしく盛り付けられたデザートなのだ。
Keiichi, this is so stupid.
まるでフリルやリボンで飾り付けられた無垢な汚れを知らぬ少女を連想させる。
If somebody...
そんな透き通った少女のような可愛いデザートを。
It's amazing how much can change after. If somebody like today was trying to make fun of me for liking dessert, I would literally just laugh in their face, be like, "Bro, you're stupid," and just leave.
ニキビだらけの欲望丸出しのスポーツ狩りが怪我するようにバリバリとむしゃむしゃと。
Okay, this is very strange.
言うな。
そうだ。お前はデザートを食べてめでているんじゃない。怪我し、蹂躙し、しゃぶり尽くしているだけ。
What the heck?
お前はデザートを怪我して楽しんでいるだけなんだ。
You're so weird, bro.
もうダメだ。知られてしまった。
5 Cyclops break.
俺の密かな楽しみが知られてしまった。
How is this destroying this guy?
もう生きていけない。
This is one of the most ridiculous things I've read.
死ぬしか。死ぬしか。
Bruh, there's fan fiction that's better written than this.
バカ野郎。命を粗末にする。
What the heck is happening? Kerslam! I hit him on the side of the head as hard as I could. Kamada-kun fell down like a girl. His eyes started watering and he broke down.
こんな変なことを考えてデザートを食べているのはきっと
What the
世界で俺だけだ。
I don't think I want to keep reading, man.
俺は爽やかなスポーツマンのふりをした隠れスケベなんだ。
Wait, this is... Okay, no, we're just gonna skip
そうだ。
through this.
お前はスケベだ。
Uh-huh. This time I didn't hit him. Instead, I clapped my hands down onto his shoulders.
わめくな亀だ。男がスケベで何が悪い。
Okay, now I really don't want to keep reading. Bruh, there is definitely something wrong with being a pervert. Like, 100%. Dun dun!
男はすべからくスケベだ。だがそれを認めるか否かで男の器は
No,
天と地の差を持
that
つの
just
だ。
makes you a grade A douchebag.
お前は自分に素直だった。
No,
それを自慢していい。
Okay, you're describing not feeling shame, and shame is a literal natural emotion.
威張っていい。
No!
自分を誇りに思え。
Heck no! What is this? He's the dumbest... Oh, wait, we already knew he was the dumbest human being on the planet after Chapter 2. Instead of blaming him, I told him to have pride in himself. And Kamada-kun couldn't hide his confusion.
そうだ。
Yeah!
そして俺はお前に感銘を受けたのだ。デザートはただ単に食後に食べる甘いもの。今までずっとそう思ってた。それは間違ってた。
How in the world could Sotoko possibly have planned this?
お
This
前
makes
が
no
それを
sense.
教えてくれたんだ。
I'm just...
お前に出会ったおかげで俺は明日から同じデザートを 一味も二味も違った味わい方ができるようになるだろ
Why are we doing this?
う。例えばいちごのショートケーキ。
Can we just skip through this? This is very, very dumb.
いち
Oh,
ご
look,
の
it's
ショ
the
ートケーキの
Hooters!
地味さはそうだ、どこか古風なロックメーカー華やかなりし頃の正統派のメイドを思わせる。
This is
ス
terrible.
カートが短いこびた近代メイドじゃないぞ。正統派の清掃の本格派。いちごしかありません。こんなものしかご用意できませんが、ご
I'm
賞味
not.
く
No,
ださい
I'm
ま
not.
せ。
This is so bad. This is so
いちご
bad.
しかないからこそ柔らかく主張したそれを
Nope.
上品な貴族の
Nope.
ご主人様のようにフォークで
Why?
切り分け、
Who wrote this? Who wrote this?
系列に
All this
油汗を
dialogue,
浮かせ
like,
た
was
悪のご
proofreading
主
is just
人
like,
様の
yes,
ように
this
し
is
ゃぶりつく
brilliant.
と
This is
ころがワイ
great.
ルドな
This
の
is
だ。
excellent writing.
いや、それよりいちごを取った後のそこに舌を
Bruh.
それってお
This is
お帰りはエンジェル俺のためだけに身を寄せ合っ
nope,
一つ
nope, 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 nope.
めでるように顎をこうクイッ
Nope.
と思って
This is so
カメ
stupid.
だ。もう一度だけ言う。俺たちを勝たせ。
If he actually.
ならもういい。お前には頼まん。
I rejected Kometa outright and turned on my heel.
もういいや。この試合は負けだ負け。もうこんな試合どう。そんなことより試合が終わったらエンジェルモートに行ってフリルとリボンで西洋人形のように飾られた美少女たち食い放題で行こうかな。
This is so.
今夜は
食い放題
Does he have the all-you-can-eat stuff in this timeline too, and we just didn't even bring that up? This is... Despite this being the bathroom, Kometa-kun put both of his hands on the floor.
俺が間違ってました。
There's no way people aren't hearing this, by the way.
どうした亀田君。
With how loud they're being.
言いたいことがあるならはっきりと言え。
こんなあなたみたいな人に出会ったのは初めてです。俺は今まで自分はどこか変じゃないかとずっと思って隠れて楽しんできたのに。
何を躊躇するか歪償が。さっき言ったはずだ。認めるか否かが男の分岐路なのだ。貴様は胸を張れるべき男。さあ手を差し出せ。自らの偉大さを示してみろ。
Why is it every time I play a visual novel, I always end up regretting it?
俺と一緒に俺たちの世界を認めるんだ。
Or you can accept that it's bad and try to stop. This is like... This is everything wrong with the visual novel anime genre rolled up into one! I hate it! Thanks! Kometa-kun is crying tears of gratitude. Why? Unable to speak. That makes sense. That was the moment we exchanged the most zealous handshake the world has ever known. The handshake of the bond of our souls. Ardent and intense. Tight and steadfast. For a long time, we remained that way. Uh-huh. It was an enthusiastic handshake, as though we were two brothers separated at birth, embracing each other tightly as though it would give us back the time that we had sent apart. How did Satoko come up with this plan? Just like, call Keiichi over here and have him give this speech about how being a pervert is great, and then he'll lose. It's like, what? You're insane! And what's even more insane is that this is probably gonna work. This was the moment the man who would pass into legend for eating so much during Angel Mort's all-you-can-eat dessert day that he was banned from the restaurant forevermore was born. He would eventually write in his autobiography that our meeting this day was fate. But none of that had anything to do with this.
じゃあ後でな。とりあえず試合は今話した通りの手はずで頼むぜ。
With just that, I turned on my heel and made to leave the bathroom. But then Kometa-kun stopped me.
待ってくれ。せめてあんたの名前を聞かせてくれ。
俺か？俺の名は前原圭一。
My name is D. D's nuts.
いや。
I kind of didn't feel like using my real name. Anyway, maybe I should just lie to him and use a code name. You already said it out loud! It's too late!
俺のことはケイと呼べ。
ケイ。
Wait, was that actually an embarrassing name? I left the bathroom behind me at a quick pace, hiding my embarrassment. But from what I heard later, I apparently looked quite gallant coming out like that.
さとこより圭一さんへ。守備はどうでございましたの？
Far better than they had any right to.
圭一より里子へ交渉は成功。エンジェルモートで俺と奴のデザート食い放題で妥結した。
I pray to God that we do not get a scene of that.
ミオ、問題ないな。
エンジェルモートにデザート食べ放題で2席ね。了解。手配しとくよ。
どういう風に交渉したのか、
No,
実に気が
Rika.
かりなのです。
Rika, you sweet child, you absolutely do not want to hear any of that.
きっとデザートの美味しい話で盛り上がったに違いないかな。はう。
Let's just leave it at that. This is bad. After that, the game started again. I entered the batter's box as a pinch hitter in place of Mion. This took far longer than it should have, but all the pieces were already in place. The straight pitch whipped by me like a bullet, true to its name. The camera's people raised their voices in wonder and clicked their shutters. A sharp pitch as always. He's really going places this summer, isn't he? That golf club pinch hitter is standing straight up too. But doesn't Kameda-kun look a little strange? It's like he got a cold sweat. I patted my shoulders with my bat and sneered at him in a relaxed voice.
どうした亀田君、今日は不調かな？
Now he gets a sprite. Okay. There he is, I guess. He does not have a sprite in the original. Oh, he only has his console sprite. The remake just reuses it from the console.
この程度の球じゃ笑っちゃってバットを振る気にもならないぜ。
おのれ。
The next pitch, with the same incredible speed as before, it curved sharply and should have thrown off the batter's skill. But Keiichi didn't move at all. He just watched coolly.
直球投手に小細工は不要だよ、亀田君。こんなカーブに引っかかってくれるのかい？この辺りのバッターは。
Both the reporters and all the people watching noticed something was strange here. Was Ushima's Kameda, the pitcher who conquered Koshien, losing the mental battle? The next straight pitch had incredible speed again, but it went a little wild. It was a ball. I snorted, not even bothering to get ready for it.
どうした亀田君、そんなにど真ん中が怖いのかい？まさか天下の亀田君がフォアボールなんてことはないだろうな。
くそー。
The abnormal, unexpected situation spread confusion throughout the reporters.
何者だよ、あの前原圭一って男は。
Oh no, Man is here! Wait, but wasn't Man over at our house? Did he come over here just to watch? Man, he's kind of obsessed with us.
かなわないと見て空威張りをしてるだけさ。あんな不真面目そうな男にあの亀田が撃たれるはずはない。
いや、私ははったりとは思えないな。超一流は同じく超一流を見抜くという。あの亀田は紛れもなく超一流。ならばこそ、あの謎の男の進化を見抜ける。
A really business person looking guy took off his sunglasses and gazed upon Keiichi.
まさか本当に？
The idiot pinch hitter who came in cheering them on with a golf club was actually a genius?
本人はもう野球に魅力を失い、ゴルフへの転向を希望している。
You see, now this writing is good.
天
Let's
才
have more
ス
of
ラッガ
this.
ー、ゴルフ界へ移籍か。
What a tremendous loss for baseball! Stop the presses! We're changing up our sports columns. I can't believe this is real.
ボール。これでフルカウントだぞ。
The successive production was, of course, all being dramatized by Satoko. Yeah, the big shots constantly had their eyes on Kameda-kun. If he were to lose easily, they knew the match would have to have been fixed. Perhaps she wanted this little play of ours to create a mood where it wouldn't be strange for Kameda-kun to lose, but...
さとこ、これどう見てもやりすぎだぞ。
頑張れてございましたよ、圭一さん。明日の休会はいただきですわ。
I don't want any scouts actually coming after me. I'm terrified of what would happen when the jig is up. Wait, I can't be making nervous faces right now.
ボールフォアボール臆したか亀田君見損なったぞ
Kamada-kun hung his head in feigned dejection.
ケイさん、これでバッチリ筋書き通りですよね。
ああでかしたぞ亀田君この調子で次のバッターも頼むぞこんな試合とっとと終わらせて
Just gonna say it. The Clannad baseball skits were way better.
早く食べ放題に行きましょうよ。
Kamada-kun and I exchanged evil smiles. They're gonna get that. For some reason, there was a lot of camera flashes right then. It seemed like our dear journalist friends took it as two worthy rivals smiling to acknowledge each other's strength. As I trotted over to first base, the camera flashes continued almost to the point where they were annoying. As the paparazzi! When I got to first base, one of the reporters came over for an interview.
前原君、この亀田君との決着は甲子園でつけるつもりですか?
Ugh, Fiends seemed like they were about to get too big for me. Maybe I should just be honest and confess that I'm not really into baseball.
甲子園俺は日本球界なんて初めから興味ないんだ悪いな
Whoa! This man, right from the start, he was always aiming for the world. He might become Japan's first ever big leaguer. What? The conversation was getting fantastically out of hand. Oh, I don't care anymore. I'll strike a guts pose for the cameras into desperation.
よっしゃ作戦通りケイちゃんが出塁したね
次はさとこちゃんの打順だね。どうするんだろう、どうするんだろう。さあでっかいホームランでサヨナラ勝ちですわよ。
Satoko stepped up to the plate, waving the bat around. The reporters couldn't hold back their laughter, maybe because they had just seen his battle with me. My Barakun finally got on base, and now it's all over. I see. So that's why Kameda-kun intentionally walked him. He didn't even fight it. He waited for an easier opponent for the final out. But to avoid a direct confrontation like that, we cannot make light of him. That Keiichi Maebara.
さあ亀田さんいらっしゃいませ。
Uh-oh.
バカにするな。俺を誰だと思っているんだ。ケイさん。いや、前原さんならともかく、お前の時に遅れなど取るものか。
There he is. Just her. And then... There they are. Whoever this girl stepped up to bat, she had swung wildly and missed, striking out every time. Well, you know, we can't all be pro baseball players. This might sound rude, but however much Kameda-kun holds back, I don't think she'll be able to hit a home run. I could hear the reporters declaring that there was no way a comeback would happen. Wait, what? Satoko, she swung wildly and missed every single time she stepped up to bat? She swung after the sound had ended, completely mistiming it. I could hear disappointed voices coming from those rooting for Hinamizawa. It's only natural. Every single batter is struck out. Even if worst came to worst, no one would get a hit. And that's why it didn't sound strange when Kameda-kun said this.
お前ごときに本気で投げても仕方がないな。チャンスだ。次の一球は下投げでのんびり投げてやる。一発くらいヒットを打ってお母ちゃんに自慢できる種にさせてやる。
Alright. Of course, these lines were all part of the plot, too. From out of the corner of his eye, Kameda-kun gives me a look. Was that alright?
ああいい感じだぞ実にさりげない亀田お主も演技派よの
いえいえ計算ほどではとてもとても
I don't mind these two becoming bros. I do mind these two becoming bros over something as weird as what they did. Even that exchange was seen as heated and enthusiastic by the reporters.
でも計算いくら手を抜いて投げてもこの子本当に打てるんですかね。
いいからお前は決められた通りに投げろ俺にはなんとなく分かってる
Our exchange was over. Kameda-kun moved from a set position into a pitching stance. Oh, dang! Okay. That's a pretty baller CG right there. Pun intended. Well, she just randomly has a clover in her mouth. Yeah, just for the pose.
手加減の球を投げなさいな。大ホームランにして差し上げますわ。
She had struck out every time she was at bat. When I heard that, my vague ideas became firm beliefs. And out of Kameda-kun's hand comes a slow, lazy pitch, as though they were playing catch. Normal people would probably be able to hit it, but for Satoko, who had been striking out the whole time, just when people started to think that way, the members of our club had suddenly realized that Satoko's trap had begun. It was true. Striking out constantly today had all been laying the groundwork for this moment. An act. All to make it feel like Kameda-kun letting off the gas wasn't strange at all. Which meant, in other words, that Satoko... Aw, dude! It's another great CG, that's fantastic. Whoa! She got it! Look at it go!
走る必要もありませんわね。
The super huge home run Satoko hit disappeared over the roof of the school. The reporters lost their words at the sight. And then, roars of applause! Despite this being what we'd anticipated. I can't help but stare in mute amazement at the gorgeous home run. Satoko strutted over to first base.
ほらほら、何をしてますの、ケイチさん。二塁は向こうでございますのよ。
さとこお前野球得意なんだろ。
Satoko grinned, showing her fang-like canines in reply. Come to think of it, she played baseball a lot with Tomita-kun and the others during lunch, didn't she? The fact that they had always invited her to play meant she was by no means bad at it.
それを全て大振りの凡退だ。
No, that actually was
しかも
real.
亀田君が登場する前からだろ。たくつくづく最後の最後に何か仕掛けるやつだな。
いつも言ってましたよ。罠は一つ。それも最後の最後で本当にさりげないぐらいで十分なんでしたよ。
Sure. Damn it! That sounded kinda cool. Basically, she was just bragging about hitting the ball. But when Satoko did it, it looked so cool. We crossed home plate in order, me, then Satoko, and completed our walk-off home run. Our teammates welcomed us back with their blessings. My bar-san! That was amazing! Totally cool! I never thought it would happen! Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun praised me.
どうだ見たかよ富田君岡村君見事ひっくり返してやったぜ。
Why are there like newspaper journalists here? Is it for the grudge match? Was it just like, oh my gosh, professional baseball players here, we gotta go too?
レナもかっこよかったと思うよ。お疲れ様。
なんのこんなの軽い仕事だぜ。
I briskly clapped my hand against Rena's outstretched palm.
さとこもあっぱれ。
Yeah, she did way better.
最後は豪快に決めてくれたね。
私を誰だとお思いですの？
Okay, I just want to check. Is Mion actually bandaged in one of the other art styles? Okay, no, she's not bandaged in any of these. Man, can't underestimate her. Satoko Hojo.
ケイちゃんも見事だったよ。
Thank you.
よくあの亀田を口説き落とせたね。
口先の魔術師なのです。
Rena, Eureka, you gotta open your mouth a little more.
リカちゃんそれ褒め言葉じゃないと思うな。
しかし本当にケイチさんでなくてはできない荒技ですわね。私にはとても真似できませんわ。ぜひ今度私にもご教授いただきたいですね。
No, Kei should not be teaching anybody.
あんな荒技を里子がこなしたら想像するのも恐ろしい。くれぐれも真似はしないでくれよな。
Even he knows that. After declaring the match over, the umpire came to us.
いや
There he is!
まさか本当に勝てるとは。
It's Mr. Eerie. He's wow! I can't believe he actually did it!
驚きましたよ。
さとこなら打てるって言ったでしょ。全然信
Who
じ
is
てく
this
れな
guy,
いんだ
by
か
the
ら
way?
な。
Don't actually answer that. The umpire scratched his head apologetically and apologized to Satoko, smiling dryly.
それにケイチくんだってすごかったでしょ。ケイチくんってここ一番で本当に頼りになる人なんですよ。
I don't know if that's a good thing.
いやー、ゴルフクラブで乱入してきた時は本当に大丈夫かと思いましたけど、あの亀田君との息詰まる攻防は 手に汗を握りましたよ。
Right, that breathtaking farce. I corked a wry smile. Not even the Buddha would have realized that while everyone thought this was a fair match, Kameda-kun and I were thinking about our evil dessert-violating ways. Yet, I don't want to think about that either.
さて監督、約束ちゃんと覚えてるよね。
Uh-oh.
これは仕方がありませんね。
What did you promise, Eerie?
やったねやったね。ケイチくん、これで明日はバーベキュー大会だよ。
Barbecue! Is it like real barbecue or fake barbecue, though? Rena clapped her hands, and we all began to dance with joy. Tomina-kun and our other teammates were jumping up and down, too.
なんだなんだ
If we lost, he would have driven us to the outskirts of town and left us
バ
there.
ーベキュー大会
Barbecue!
おいおい
Barbecue!
一体どういう話になってるんだ？
今日の試合に勝てたら高級お肉いっぱいのバーベキュー大会を振る舞ってくださるって約束になってましたの。
Yes!
亀田さんの登場で一時
Brisket,
は危うかったですが、
brisket.
ケイチさんの活躍で見事獲得できましたのよ。
I see. So that's what this was about. It was certainly not a game we could have lost.
入江は大散財でかわいそかわいそなので
Big
す。
sad.
参ったな。でも約束ですから
Come on,
ね。
how much could a couple girls in KG eat?
私たちは食うときは情け容赦なく食うから
I
ね。
guess that answers that question.
何しろ育ち盛りだし。
Mion, aren't you supposed to be in the hospital right
いい
now?
かいみんな、明日は徹底的に食いまくるよ。
All of the members of the Hinamizawa fighters raised their fists high in the air and cheered. Rika-chan was petting the head of the umpire, who was smiling painfully at the off-kilter remarks. He gave her his head and looked like he was about to cry. It looked like the price of victory would be pretty big. This is why most coaches just treat them to ice cream afterwards. It's a lot more affordable than barbecue.
でも仕方ないね。約束ですから。
We're going to the 3 Michelin-star barbecue restaurant,
お
right?
肉とかを買いにお買い物に行かないとな。
Or is he making his own?
監督、約束通り牛肉は高級なのお願いね。野菜ばっかり買って安上がりにしたら許さないからね。
Just vegetables is not barbecue. You need meat. He's got, I barbecue jackfruit, but it's pork. The umpire, whom they were calling Coach, grinned dryly, crestfallen. Umpire? Coach? The uniform he was wearing had Hinamizawa Fighters written on it. No, it doesn't. It has one H written on it. Oh, so he's not just the umpire. He actually was coaching he was our team's coach. That can't be kosher. I'm pretty sure the coach is not allowed to be the unbiased umpire.
前原くんでよかったですか？お名前。
あ、はい。
前原くんの出塁がなければありえない逆転でした。ぜひ明日のバーベキューにはいらしてください。
Like, thanks.
いやいや、それよりもぜひうちのチームに入りませんか？あなたとなら喧嘩を制覇できるかも。
Nah, I think I'm gonna be a golfer.
監督監督、まあその話は置いといて、今はお財布の心配だけをなさいませ。
Despite the coach being an adult, everyone seemed to get along very well with him. Coach, huh?
よろしくお願いしますね。ひなみざわファイターズ監督の入江ですよ。
He extended his hand to me. I firmly grasped it with my own in reply.
前原です。よろしく。
Then the coach took his other hand and began to stroke mine softly. That's freaking weird.
すべすべなお手手ですね。
Dude, that's not cool.
きめも細かいし、お手入れも実にいい感じです。はあ、さわさわ。
Okay, he just skyrocketed to like an 8 on the weirdness scale.
はあ？ちょっと。
当家のメイドたちにもこれくらいの肌のお手入れはするよう厳
Oh,
命
I
しな
don't
く
like
てはい
him
けない
being
で
the
す
coach of the
ね。
team anymore.
お手入れの悪いメイドたちにはお仕置き
Okay, he just went up to a 9 out of 10 on the weirdness scale.
メイド？何の話をしてるんですか？
はあ、こんなすべすべな手でご奉仕ご奉仕。
9.5.
はあ。
I don't like the coach anymore. The coach's eyes were spellbound as his delusions floated through his very own original magical universe. He made a supremely satisfied smile. And I call the police. Oh wait, no I don't, because I'm not a normal person. How do I put this? Who the hell is this guy? Yeah, and what does he think he's doing? I don't want to eat his barbecue anymore. Who would? That's the natural reaction.
変わってる人なの。
A little? He's already a 9.5 out of 10 on the weirdness scale.
でもとっても面白い人なんだよ。だよ。
Okay, but like, how many girls are on the team? I felt like you couldn't measure him by saying strange or funny. I really didn't think we'd get along. The ever self in my mind made a witty retort for some reason.
ほら、いい加減になさいませ。刑事さんも嫌がっておりましたよ。
Thank you!
はあ、すべすべ。
You are weird as all get out. The coach didn't try to take his hands off mine until Satoko hit him with a 3-hole wash bucket attack, causing him to think. He was stroking our hand the entire time and not letting us get away. He's now a 9.8. I don't like this guy. Man, he went from like, oh, this guy's a cool coach to like, oh my gosh, this guy's so weird. Don't let him around kids real fast. Jeez Louise. New tips unlocked. Sotoko's trap course advanced. Okay. New Horizons discovered something new about yourself. I hate that. I hate that. Every part of that. Now we get the ominous music. Wow, no! It's her and the coach in the hallway and she looks worried. This is not good. It was a peaceful lunch break. Not!
なんだ
今廊下からすごいのが聞こえた。なんだろう、なんだろう。
Uh-oh. Did Brother Bear hit a baseball through the chemistry lab window again? We rushed into the hallway, and to our surprise, Coach was there with a water bucket overturned on his head. Ah, karma.
監督、大丈夫？
He'll be fine.
いやー、やられましたね。
Hey, he got me.
皆さん、こんにちは。
Coach greets us, cool and calm.
どうしたんですか監督。学校に来るなんて珍しい。
Thank goodness for that.
いやー、お仕事の絡みでして、私毎週学校には来てるんですよ。ここしばらくは何事もなかったので、すっかり油断してました。
さとこちゃんの罠は忘れた頃に来ますからね。大丈夫ですか、服？
いえいえ、ちょうど行水がしたいと思ってたところですからね。実に涼しくていいですよ。
Alrighty. Well, it was great seeing you, Coach. We gotta get back to lunch.
ちょっとやそっとのことでは怒らない。その辺が大人って感じだよね。
I know I was just talking about how terrible Coach he was, but you know what? We could use more calm coaches that don't get mad these days, I think. She was right. If I were Coach, I would have started running around with the bucket still on my head looking for her. His adult way of not getting mad at every little child's prank was admirable.
いいですか、前原さん。こういうのは考え方一つで腹立たしくも愉快にもなるんです。
Okay, well that was great, Coach, but we gotta get back to lunch
要は
now.
受け止め方一つなんですよ。
Well, ain't
水バケ
that
ツ
a
を丸
thing?
ごと食らってそれだけクールにいられる秘訣があるならぜひご教授を願いたいです。
例えば明治から続く古式ゆかしい旧家があるとします。
I don't like where this is going.
そこには大勢の使用
I
人と
really
して
don't like where
メイド
this is
さんが
going.
もちろん大きな家ですから、ベテランのおつぼね様と化したメイド長から新米のピチピチしたメイドさんまでがたくさんいるのです。ほら、想像できますか？ほらほら。
I don't want to be with Coach. A space filled with dreamy maids in pink and peach adorned with frills and headbands, with Coach at their center, began to spread out before me.
新米メイドたちはそのピチピチさと初々しさでご主人様の寵愛を一身に。 でもそれが先輩メイドたちには許せないのです。
Can we get back to like the torture stuff?
断る
That's
ごと
much
に
more
難癖
preferable
を
to
つけ、
this.
いじめていじめていじめ抜いて、ほらまだこんなにホコリが残っていますよ。あー、すみません。もう一度やり直し。バシャー。バケツを逆さにぶっかけられるメイドさん。びしょ濡れのメイドさんが泣きそうになりながらそれでもけなげに。
Dude, you are saying all of this out loud in the middle of a school. Why aren't the cops arresting this guy?
めいど
Rena, go back to
楽し
lunch.
そう
And can somebody please punch this guy?
レナもメイドさんいい
No. No.
ああ、もうレナまで感化されてきた。
Well, Rena's easily infected.
ほらケイちゃんもいつまでも監督の世界に浸っていない。
I agree. Coach's world is a bad place. You don't want to go there.
これさえなければ監督も決して悪い人じゃありませんのに。
How did Satoko go from being the worst character to the best one in this chapter? Well, no, I still like Rika the best, but Satoko's really growing on me, though.
北条聡子さん発見。
Satoko, run! Coach is in his creepy mood today,
聡子さん、
as
これは
always.
何ざますまだホコリが残ってるざますよ。
Can we please punch this guy?
お仕置きざます
にゅにゅ
Okay, can we please dump him down a pit and leave him there for like 2 days? Coach plucked Satoko up and started giving. What the butts?
さとこちゃんかい
Arrest this man!
天才的な読みでトラップを操る聡子がどうしてこの顛末までは読めないのか実に不思議だぞ。
Why are we laughing at this like it's a fun, quirky character trait of his? Why is no one calling the cops on this guy?
そうかな。これはさとこちゃんの望んだ結末だと思うな。
This is the kind of coach where, like, when you're an adult, you, like, look him up and you realize that he was sleeping with a bunch of the students. That's the vibes I'm getting.
この結末を聡子が望んだ？それはどういう意味だよ。
I don't want her to elaborate any
人
further.
にこういういたずらをしたら絶対に相手は怒って追いかけてくるよね。そういうのもコミュニケーションだと思わない？
そんなコミュニケーションすごく嫌だぞ。普通に挨拶から入ってこんにちはってことにはならんのか。
I'm just trying to think, like, if my mom ever just randomly starts watching one of my streams, it's gonna be real hard to explain to her what's going on. And I'm like, look, I don't like this. I want it to get to the horror stuff. And she's like, what?
あれケイチくん聞いたことない？いたずらばかりしてる人ってね、人に構ってもらいたくて仕方がない寂しがり屋さんなんだって。
And I think that's stupid. Rana gave a cool smile and, laughing abruptly, explained.
だからさとこちゃんの罠にかかったらちゃんと怒ったり笑ったりしてさとこちゃんを追いかけてほしいの。そういう猫の甘え髪みたいなの可愛いと思わないかな？
No, I don't. Can we get the teacher to kick
こ
his
こで
butt?
驚いて飛びのきますわ。だからここに仕掛ければ絶対にかかりますの。
Satoko, regaling us with her trap philosophy, was improving this already brutal trap hell on the mountain. If Rena was right, and her traps are to get people to pay attention to her, then all of these traps on the mountain were basically a crystallized form of those feelings. Alone with Rika-chan, setting up trap after trap after trap in the mountains. Always waiting for someone to fall into them. But nobody needed to come to this mountain in the first place. Without a doubt, she and Rika-chan had spent a lot of time imagining how victims caught in their traps would react. Satoko separated for so long from her beloved Nini, Satoshi. With her stubbornness, she never once said that she wanted him to come home. But with all the traps sleeping on the mountain, told me how Satoko really felt.
聞いてますのケイチさん？
I was, but a small piece of fluff flew into my ear.
あ、ごめん。なんだって？
このように木の幹に釘を一本打ちつけただけでも立派なトラップになるんですのよ。ちょうどあそこで転げてここに額を打ちつければ痛いですわよ。
釘の頭に人間トンカチってわけか。それは痛そうだな。
このトラップはきっと悪い悪人を懲らしめる強力なトラップになりますわよ。どんな悪党がかかるか楽しみでございますわね。
Is this gonna be the Chekhov's gun?
そこでなんで俺をチラチラ見るんだよ。俺にこれに引っかかってほしいと思ってんのか。さすがにこれは大怪我するぞ。このトラップはちょっとやめとけ。
Yeah.
そうですの。まあ確かに愛がないトラップはダメでございますからね。
When we have to defeat and kill the final boss, maybe that's when we'll use the trap.
ではその悪党もちゃんと改心したらかからないように少し釘の位置を。
Stoko immersed herself in adjusting the nail's position. Traps of love, huh? Maybe Coach was right. No! He's never right! Just by reacting a little differently, everything changes. Come to think of it, maybe you can feel humor and warmth even when Satoko's traps get you.
できましたよ。この絶妙な位置でしたら完璧ですわ。いかがですケイツさん。
完璧だな。このトラップに引っかかる悪党が現れるといいな。
現れない方がいいに決まってますわ。
It looked a little painful, but I considered coming here subtime and getting caught in it. Please don't. Okay, can we... The problem is, Coach has a sprite in all 3 versions, so I bet he's gonna be a major character. Oh no.
じゃあ行ってくれよ。
Keiichi, we lost the art business because you went off to play baseball with a golf club and eat desserts. I didn't eat the desserts yet.
車に気をつけるのよ。晩ご飯までには帰ってらっしゃいね。
Thanks, Mom. Love you. Today was the day of the barbecue party that was the Hinamizawa Fighters victory celebration. Oh, great! More Coach! Of course, I, having prepared myself, skipped breakfast in order to stay hungry. Good man. Though with all the club members coming, it was pretty possible there would be a contest based on how fast or how much you could eat. Rena was already at our usual meeting place. Mion arrived a few minutes later.
よっしゃ、じゃあ早速行こうかね。おじさん朝ごはんを食べてから遅かった。
Did we all skip breakfast?
さすがだな。もちろん俺も朝食抜きで万全の体制だぜ。
二人とも朝食抜きは健康に良くないよ。
Rena, if skipping breakfast is unhealthy, then I'm the unhealthiest person who ever lived.
レナはちゃんと食べたんだよ。
そうかそうか。レナは偉いぞ。朝食は一日の基本だもんな。きっと成長途上なミオンを飛び越してナイスバデーになってグラビアを独り占めだ。
Why?
グラビアを独り占め。ナイスバデーになったらレナのとこにも白馬の王子様とか来てくれるかな。
Do they have white horses in Japan? I don't know.
絶対来ないと思う。ケイちゃんも責任取れないならレナにいい加減なことは吹き込まないように。この子明日から3食くらいまとめて朝食を取り出すかもしれないよ。
We've had one, yes, but what about second breakfast? Yeah, I can see Rena doing that. Wait, who did this gluttonous princess think was going to come for her?
ま、その話は置いといて。とにかく俺たちさっさと行って大バーベキュー大会としゃれ込もうぜ。
Yeah! The venue for said barbecue was to be the Furude Shrine grounds where Rika-chan lived. Okay, that'll be nice. But Coach is going to be there, which is not nice. They held events and festivals there, and barbecues too. It was the place that held all sorts of ceremonies in Hinamizawa. Come to think of it, there was supposed to be a big village festival coming up, wasn't there? Watanagashi or something. Oh yeah, nothing bad's going to happen then. The scenery you could see from high up was fairly superb, and the calm atmosphere, in particular to shrines, was something fairly difficult to find in the city. We left our bicycles at the bottom of the shrine steps and broke into a mad dash up the stairs. When we arrived at the shrine grounds, the Hinamizawa fighters and their fathers had already gathered and begun setting up for the barbecue early. Oh, the dads are there too! Of course, Satoko and Rika-chan were there as well. When they noticed our arrival, they waved to us.
ほら、忘れずにちゃんと来ましたわね。
Yeah!
皆さんが来なければその分お肉が多く食べられましたのに。実に残念でございましたよ。
It's all
甘
you
い
can
ぜ
eat,
サトコ。
right?
俺たちが来た以上 まさか霜降りが一口でも食べられるなんて思ってるんじゃないだろうな。以前ここで弁当を食った時を思い出せ。俺と聡子の致命的なリーチさで今回も圧倒してやるぜ。
So that happened in chapter 1. So it also happened here too?
なんですって。そんなの絶対に許せませんわ。
泣こうがわめこうが聡子は目の前で牛肉を頬張るのを見るだけだ。
Beef barbecue.
安心しろ。ピーマンやナスは譲ってやるからな。
Hey, onions are great.
僕もさとこにかぼちゃを焼いたのをいっぱいいっぱい
That's
譲ってあ
not
げ
barbecue.
ますです。
It's just grilled. Barbecue has to be slow smoked. When Satoko heard the word squash, her complexion changed color. When she took my overwhelming reach into account, she knew it wasn't a threat. It could actually happen.
監督に伝えとくよ。聡子はかぼちゃが大好きだって。監督のことだから日本全国から特産のかぼちゃを山盛り集めてきてくれるね。
よかったな聡子。どのかぼちゃもよりどり緑だぞ。朝から晩までずーっと3食かぼちゃ三昧だ。
That face says everything I need to see, though.
わあ、レナみんながいじめますな。
You don't like Jimmy and Jerry? Satoko tried to leap into Rena's chest. Oh no. Clearly, given another second, Rena's mock punches would have piled us on the ground. So, just before Satoko hit Rena, I grabbed her by the nape of her neck and pulled her back. A superb reaction with only seconds of foresight. At least it was supposed to be. But for Rena, when I caught the leaping crying Satoko, it looked like I was keeping her to myself. Bam!
ダメだよケイチ君。これはレナのなんだよ。お持ち帰り。ははレナさん、その調子でミオさんとリカもやっつけてですわよ。
What crocodile tears?
ちょっとタマ。
I wouldn't beat up Mion. She has a gun. She can fight back. Uh-oh, that doesn't look good. Your mouth didn't open nearly wide enough for a scream like that. Ba-bam!
さあ、リカはどこですの？
What did Rika do? Rika didn't participate in that.
皆さん、あそこでしたよ。待っててね、さとこちゃん。すぐにやっつけちゃうよ。そうしたらすぐにお持ち帰り。
I can't wait for Rena to become a professional mercenary after high school.
みーさとこがひどいのです。
Yeah, I agree. There was absolutely no call for that. Rika's innocent.
リカちゃんもかわいい。お持ち帰り。リカ、そう思わないでございましてよ。
Satoko laughed in a shrill voice at Rika-chan and Rena's unproductive game of tag while we watched them sprawled out on the ground.
大丈
No!
夫ですか？
Not him! Go back to growing the meat! I don't want to talk to you!
園崎さんも。
The coach came over and lent us a hand. No! I don't like that.
まあ私たちのいつものコミュニケーションですから。
We communicate through violence and sexual innuendos. I don't want to be part of that club. Also, wow, Mion had a miraculous recovery from being in a full body cast yesterday. She was just faking those injuries.
どうぞお気遣いなく。
いつも顔面にあざが残るようなコミュニケーションはもう嫌だぞ。
Based. You never learn, do you? Laughed the coach loudly. It made us start to laugh too. Ah, coach is funny. Stoko's laughter at Rika-chan's yelling and Rena's strange voice were kind of comfortable to hear. Rena talks weird, did you notice? Oh, stupid Higurashi. The adults here knew what they were doing, so the barbecue was ready in short order. As the salad oil dripped down onto the plate with a hiss, there was a loud cheer. When the coach brought over a big plate with all the meat on it, we all cheered again.
これ本当にすごいお肉だよ。
Is this actual barbecue or is this just grilling it?
監督、本当に大奮発したんだね。
Grilling is not barbecue.
約束ですからね。これなんかグラムいくらするか知ってます？本当に奮発したんですよ。
当然ですわ。三流のお肉じゃ昨日の私の大活躍をねぎらうには値しませんでしたよ。
Satoko with the big brain strats yesterday. I still don't know how she pulled it off.
そうだね。今日の主賓はさとこちゃんに違いないね。
確かに 最後のホームランを打ったのは紛れもなく聡子だもんな。しかも油断させたといえ小細工なしの特大アーチ。
さと子は運動神経は良いのです。
Yeah, I believe that.
悪いどころか世代的には突出してるんじゃない？私なんかと比べても運動能力は決して劣らないでしょ。
さと子ちゃんってひょっとすると将来はスポーツ界で大活躍できるかもね。なんだか褒めちぎられて照れますわね。むしゃむしゃ。
Satoko, for whom the excessive praise made her not notice the moderately grilled meat being stolen one after the other, was just far too cute.
前原さん。
Oh, that's gotta be the brisket. Yes. Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun were carrying something over to us. It was a huge barbecue plate.
おお、これぞまさしく
Yeah!
バーベキューの主人公の到着じゃねえか
If
よ。
that's not brisket, it's not the protagonist. The plate was chock full of skewers with vegetables and meat on them. The grilled, burning hot meat juices made a shh noise as they drizzle off. You need a lot of heat for cooking something on a metal skewer, so they had grilled the whole plate at once.
やっぱりこれがなきゃバーベキューとは言わないですよね。
ああ、まったくだ。俺も手を貸すから早く持っていこう。よいしょよいしょ。
わあ、見て見て、すごいのが来たよ。
Barbecue! Everyone greeted us with a cheer. Each person received a skewer of vegetables and big pieces of meat on it, so they're just kebabs. They also received paper cups filled to the brim with juice. In my right hand were pounds of piping hot barbecue. In the left was a cup of juice that I could chug down. If this didn't make you want to dance, you weren't a man. Barbecue is
おお、
fantastic.
もう我慢できないぜ。ガブッといくぞ。ガブッと。
まだまだケイちゃん。ほらほら、一応セレモニーってことで。
Keiichi, we've got to say grace first, obviously.
みんな注目。
I'd rather not. The coach, with a cup of beer in his hand, mounted the nearby beer cooler. This was supposed to be a victory celebration, after all. We needed an opening statement. Damn, I hope it ends soon. For every second this goes on, a little more of the food's freshness goes away. Ah! Satoko stomped down onto the back of my foot.
まったく、いい年の男が卑しいですわね。もう少しエレガントに我慢できませんの？
俺っ
She's
て
got a point.
つくづく思ってることが顔に出ちゃうのな。
Keiichi, you're drooling.
じゃあみんないいですか？昨日は大勝利でしたね。
It was a grudge match.
すごいピッチャーの登場で苦戦もしましたが、こちらも同じくらい頼もしい助っ人の登場で見事逆転勝利を収めることができました。
Clap, clap, clap. Both my hands were full, so the other adults and older brothers gave a round of applause to us.
今日はその戦勝祝賀会です。約束通り美味しいお肉をいっぱい用意しましたからね。今日はいっぱい食べて次の試合への活力にしていきましょう。
Oh yeah, then after a few words of thanks to the fathers and brothers who helped with the barbecue, he led us in a toast.
乾杯！
They say that when you're toasting, you would normally down the contents of your cup. But we were young. At the toast, all of us immediately began to dig into our skewers. Heck yes. After that, it got really lively, with everyone congratulating one another for the things they did during the game. Like how someone made a great catch, or how awesome someone looked when stealing a base. Of course, they congratulated me too, the savior who appeared to fight against the Koshian pitcher.
まあ俺の活躍も含めてあれは聡子の活躍だったわけだからな。
Did you know we cheated?
確かに聡子の作戦ではあったけどさ。
I don't know how Satoko found out about the pitcher's dessert fetish, but I guess it came in clutch.
亀田を口説き落とすなんて真似はケイちゃん以外にはできなかったわけだし、十分ケイちゃんも称えられるに値する活躍をしてるよ。
そういえばケイチくん、あの後亀田くんと一緒にケーキを食べに行ったんだよね。
Wait, we did that the same day? Well, I mean, thank God we don't actually have to have a scene of that.
なんだかすっごく仲良さそうだった。
I mean,
ライバル関係から男同士の友情が芽生えちゃったわけ。
I like to say we just both like to eat cookies.
そういうのってなんだかそのは
I violently brushed through Rena's hair as she turned red in the face for some reason at the mention of friendship between males, dispersing her pleasant-seeming ideas. Now then, where's the hero, or rather the heroine, Satoko? Oh, there she is. Satoko was a freak-a-chan in the middle of bragging her heart about the home run yesterday, and her teammates spared no compliment for her, since even though he was going easy on her, the fact that she hit a throw from a Koshin pitcher was something else. Satoko was more loquacious than usual, and it seemed like she was in a good mood. She was flying so high that I thought for a moment about getting a word in to tease her, but she was the leading actress today, so I decided not to bully her at all. As I watched Satoko, going at things as lively as usual under the sun, it struck me that it didn't quite line up with the pleasant time I'd spent with her. But both of those were the real Satoko. I didn't care who it was, her smiling happily or making a big lively fuss like this. Just as long as she would keep it smiling like this forever.
楽しそうですね。あんなにはしゃいで。
The coach had approached me from behind before I realized it. As he gazed at Satoko from afar like I had been doing, he addressed me. So I could tell he was talking about her.
さとこちゃんの笑顔を見てると、なんだか心が洗われる気がしません？
I don't like where this is going. He smiled, refreshed, searching for confirmation. I felt a little embarrassed to admit it, so against my better judgment, I played it off.
そうですか？あいつの笑顔じゃ皿一枚ろくに洗えないと思うんですけどね。
Alright.
それを聞いたら、さとこちゃん怒るんでしょうね。でも、そんな彼女もとってもキュートなんですよ。
Leaving her cuteness aside, I could understand him thinking Satoko getting angry for being teased would be funny.
イリアさんでしたっけ？
入江です。
イリ。
でもみんな監督って呼びますからね。前原さんも監督と呼んでくださるとと
I
ても
would
嬉
love
し
it
いで
if you
す。
joined the baseball team and called me coach. As he said that, Coach Erie smiled, blushing a little.
監督はサトコのことを気に入ってるみたいです
Coach?
ね。
This seems a little creepy. I didn't have any real basis for saying that. It was just what I felt to be true.
ええ、気に入っていますよ。大好きです。
Elaborate.
彼女がもっと大きくなったら求婚しようと思ってます。
Hello? Police, arrest this man. This guy really says some insane stuff, doesn't he? Keiichi, I swear to God if you don't call the police about this. After being astonished by this, I hurried to put my mind back in order. I'd heard that this coach guy was the kind of person who said crazy things out of nowhere. According to Mion, if I took everything he said seriously, I physically wouldn't be able to take it. If I was able to ignore that part of him, he seemed like he'd be a really funny guy. Okay, I'm just gonna say, there's some things you probably shouldn't be joking about. Especially to somebody who you don't actually know, and they don't know if everything you say is a joke or not.
あれ？今前原さん驚かれました？
Yes! If that doesn't surprise somebody, you have... Well, he clearly already has multiple problems.
じゃあひょっとしてさとこちゃんのこと
That is not what I was shocked about! How old is this guy? He is at least older than we are. He is no question... He's no way younger than 18. He looks like he's an adult. He looks like he could easily be my age. You should not...
それは困ります。
Again, can we please punch this guy?
私はもう何十年も前から狙ってるんですよ。
How? She's only 12.
監督、何十年も前には
Yeah.
まだサトコは生まれてないと思うんですけど。
What the freaking weirdo?
ん？
Why are you laughing about it? Okay, he's the main villain, no question. Coach gave a dry grin and laughed. Was this how I should be doing it? I must somehow master the art of responding to this coach guy. After that, I received many words of praise for my actions, almost too many. As that conversation was happening, leaving aside the controversial statements this coach person would spout suddenly, I learned he was very composed and not a bad guy by any stretch. Uh-huh! I don't know about that!
俺なんかよりあの特大アーチを放ったサトコの方が賞賛に値すると思いますよ。
That's funny, Keiichi. I think Coach should be on some kind of a list.
正直、あいつにホームランを打てるなんて思わなかったです。
さとこちゃんのお兄さんはどちらかというとおとなしい文系のタイプでした。
Didn't he own a baseball bat, though?
きっとさとこちゃんはその反対の才能に恵まれたんでしょう。
Her brother? Right, he meant Satoshi. The one who left Satoko and ran away from home. Satoko's Nini. Satoshi Hojo.
ご存知ないですか？
Oh, I know all about it.
さとこちゃんのお兄さんです。北条聡くんと言いましてね。彼もひなみ沢ファイターズで活
No,
躍
that's
してたん
why he
で
had
す
the
よ。
baseball bat.
もっともっと活躍してほしかったんですが、転校
Oh, yes, he
してしまいましてね、
transferred.
へえ、そうなんですか。
So he transferred. Yeah, maybe that was a little more considerate than saying he ran away. Now that he mentioned it, I think it was Rena. I think she said Satoshi transferred too. That was back in Act 1, or in Chapter 1. I didn't know the details about him having run away from home at the time, so I didn't pay much attention to it, but
兄貴だけ転校したんでしたっけ？そういうのって珍しいですね。
everyone having fun was far away, and their cheerful voices distant. The chorus of cicadas separated us from them, giving me a sense of distance. At first, I thought my own voice was too soft for even me to hear. But for a really long time, Coach didn't respond to my words. So at this point, I began to wonder if I had said something I shouldn't have. Just when I began to feel impatient, Coach finally spoke.
不幸なことがあったんです。いろいろと。
After informing me that what was about to say he was a secret, Coach began to talk, a little at a time. Backstory?
もう3年になります。ちょうど今頃の時期でしたっけ。さとこちゃんのご両親が事故に遭われましてね。
Oh yeah, weren't they some of the victims of one of those accidents in the past?
事故？ええ。旅先の公園で展望台から転落されましてね。
Or like they thought they may have been involved. It was supposed to be just a little time away from the house with the family. They went on a walk on a path through a nature field after it had rained. There was a little viewing platform that looked like it had a good view. That was the stage on which the tragedy was set. The metal fixtures in the viewing platform fence had deteriorated from time. And with all the rain they had just gotten, they might have loosened somewhat. Right before Satoko's eyes, both the fence and her parents fell. There was a river some tens of meters below. The water level was high due to the rain, and apparently very muddy.
それで両親は？
Coach gave a thin but melancholic smile and touched his paper cup to his lips. Without saying anything, I knew how unfortunate that accident was, and how Satoko's parents had left on an eternal vacation. Yeesh. And she saw that? Eesh.
じゃあさとこって？
She saw that when she was like 8 or 9. I was so focused on being careful of my words that I lost what I was going to say. A single word. Orphaned. I knew how little consideration it showed and how much it would hurt Satoko without having to say it out loud. Come to think of it, Satoko lived with Rika-chan. At least that's what I thought I heard from the others. Wait, Rika-chan, her father died from illness too, and her mother soon after. I felt like I heard she was living by herself.
ええ。今はフルデさんと一緒に生活しています。
It's good that they have each other.
二人ともご両親がいなくて心細い日もあったでしょうが、助け合いながら生活しているようです。
Do neither of them have like some kind of next of kin or like guardian or some relative at all? And if not, like, what's the government doing? They're just like, oh yeah, these two 12-year-old girls can like live by themselves. It's fine.
親の庇護なく生きていくっていうのは、あの年頃にはとても辛いことだと思います。
Yeah.
前原さんでもその辺はわかるでしょ？
Mm-hmm. I've only survived because I rely on my parents, so the only reply I could give was to nod.
フルデさんは特に村のお年寄りに慕われていますからね。この村にいる限り生きていくのにそんなに不自由はないでしょう。
そういえばそうですね。リカちゃんって村のマスコットみたいなところがありますからね。確かにこの村での生活には困らないように思います。
Rika-chan could go meep just once and get 2 or 3 croquettes from a vendor after all. I felt like if she asked for help, everyone in the village would.
でもそれはフルデさんだけの特別な事情です。サトコちゃんも同じというわけではありません。
Yeah, because Rika's kind of like, I think she's like the last. We learned in chapter 2 she was like the last of one of the 3 great clans. So she actually kind of has a lot of power. Rika being so spoiled was just an exception. Upon thinking about it normally, living on your own as a child should be fraught with difficulty. It wasn't then very difficult to imagine how much suffering Satoko had to go through just to live. It wasn't very difficult to imagine. How did they have money? Rika must be using her trust fund or something. Was I really thinking that? No, I was only thinking the words. I couldn't imagine it in the slightest. How was I supposed to imagine it when I saw that annoying smile of hers? There was no way I could. I found out she was living apart from her brother, and I just kind of vaguely thought that it was rather unfortunate. I mean, Satoko was smiling so energetically every single day. Was I thinking that her smiling meant that she wasn't hurt? That she didn't feel lonely? When she found out my parents were coming home the other night, Satoko said, "A family sitting around the dinner table is the most fun way to enjoy a meal at all." Those words held a lot more weight now.
あの子を養子に迎えようと本気で思ったこともあります。
If it were someone other than you, I would think that's very sweet of you.
養子
It's a secret. After warning me, Coach put his index finger to his lips.
私はこの年になるまで本当に堅実に生活してきました。財産もあるし、信用もあります。
How do you have a good reputation with all the crap you say?
ですが、結婚だけはしてない。法律で既婚者でないと養子は取れないって決まってるんですよ。だから私は聡子ちゃんを養子にしてあげられないんです。残念です。聡子ちゃんにパパって呼んでもらえる計画は早くも頓挫ですか
Don't be weird, alright? This guy spots some crazy stuff. At first I was only half listening, but midway through I realized how rude that was. This coach person seriously only wished for this one girl, Satoko, to be happy. That was neither crazy nor was it nonsense. He just wanted her to be happy. Those were his true feelings.
聡子ちゃんの今の生活は決して幸福なものではないでしょう。でもね、それをほんの少しでも和らげてあげたいと思ってるんです。もっとも余り物のお裾分けや力仕事のお手伝いくらいしかしてあげられませんがね。
幸せですよ、聡子。
Huh? Coach showed surprise at me having declared that.
こんなにも聡子の幸せを強く願う人間がこんなに身近にいて不幸なわけがありません。
I spoke with a serious expression, quietly, but firmly all the same. It was my approval of his feelings, and my gratitude as Satoko's Nini. You're not
あり
Nini.
がとう。でも聡子ちゃんには内緒にしてくださいね。彼女、私が養子にしたいなんて知ったら、こんなスケベ男なんか誰がパパと呼ぶものですかって憤慨しそうですから。
I wonder. Satoko may have been somewhat childish, but she was still able to empathize with people. She'd call him that. I knew it. As if my feelings had gotten across, Coach grinned, satisfied, and returned his gaze to the hustle and bustle before us. Oh no, who ate all the wagyu? Her parents and her older brother. She lost her family, had no relatives, and was huddled up with Rika-chan, who was in the same situation. Satoko Hojo. It wouldn't be odd for her to look at her life with despair, but she didn't seem to feel that way, and she lived energetically with a smile.
あの子にはね、いつまでも笑っていてほしいんです。
It was a naive wish, and yet it was one that he couldn't help hoping for. So, the words that I spoke were the same.
奇遇ですね。俺も同じことを考えています。
おや、前原くんもですか？では私たちは仲間ですね。
Okay, Coach.
約束しましょう。
I don't like where this is going.
約束？
It's a very simple one, the coach said, giving me a grin.
絶対に彼女を泣かせたりしない。
I don't know, she cries easily. I can't make that promise. It was short and to the point.
あ、はい。
Why are we
俺も
promising?
それ約束します。
Coach nodded happily. We exchanged no more words after that. Coach, I gotta go help my dad butter the dog. We just sat there comfortably, gazing at Satoko and everyone else having a good time. This is weird. Creepy, even. She'd certainly lost a family member, but there were people watching over her. How reassuring must that have been?
仮にですよ。聡子を養子にできたらどうします？
それは難しい質問ですね。
Coach gave a wry, happy smile, then exaggeratedly tilted his head in contemplation. I swear if you say
ま
something
ずです
perverted.
ね、
私のことをご主人様と呼ばせて優しく可憐なメイ
Shion,
ド
what
に
are
し
you
ま
doing?
す。
You do exist in this timeline.
は
How does this guy always pick the craziest time to say the craziest things? You seriously thought Coach said that? That was definitely not his voice.
前原くん、私まだ何も言ってませんよ。
何言ってんですか。今はっきりと言ったじゃないですか。
そうそう。
She is back. Look who's back. Back again. Crazy girl is back again.
サトコを自分専属のプリッチーなメイドにするってはっきり言いました。
Oh, hi, Shion. It's not nice to see you
それ
again.
はいいですね。
Great. It's like two of my least favorite people
さとこちゃん
together in
を
one
プリ
place.
チ
You are weird.
プリティとプリッチーは似てるようで微妙に違いますからね。日本のわびさびをミックスした和洋折衷の言葉なので注意してください。
なるほどな。いやー、日本語は本当奥が深いよな。
I mean, this is true. English is a weird language.
そうそう、ケイちゃんはよく理解してます。ではそういうことで。
It's time for. My hand shot out and grabbed Shion, smiling, waving, and about to leave by the nape of her neck.
おい待てこら。突然現れて何をとんでもないことを言ってやがるんだ。
とんでもないことって言ったら、ケイちゃんと監督がしてたサトコラブな
She's
ト
like,
ークの
by the
方
way,
が
I
よっ
heard
ぽ
the
どとん
coach
で
say
もないと
he
思い
wanted
ま
to
したけ
marry
ど、
Satoko. I called the cops. They're here to arrest you. Oh, man!
養子縁組のあたりから再現してご覧に入れます。
お前そんな時から息を潜めてやがったん
Oh,
だ。
man, I forgot about Shion and her 2 fingers and a thumb.
お姉にすらかなわないケイちゃんが私に歯向かおうなんて100年早いってことです。
This was Shion Sonozaki, the younger of the Sonozaki twins. Why do they always say it's the younger of the twin? They're freaking twins. They're the same age. Though she hadn't a scrap of the reserved quality you'd expect from a little sister. She was a villain no better than her older sister Mion. Yeah, because I'm like 99% sure that Shion was actually the one at the end of chapter 2 who did all the murdering and torturing and stuff. We met the other day in town and I dug myself into a hole when I mistook her for Mion. Unlike Mion, Shion said that she was living in Okinomiya. So I thought we'd never see each other again, but to think we actually would. And my frankly displeased expression didn't change a bit either. This must be what people mean when they say something is like water off a duck's back.
シオンさん、よく来てくれましたね。来てくれないと思ってがっかりしてたんですよ。
How did she get an invite to the all-you-can-eat
他に
barbecue?
することが思いつかなかったってことです。ちょっとからかいに行こうかなくらいですので。
監督、どうしてシオンが検証室係
Coach,
に呼ば
why
れ
is
な
she
くちゃならない
here?
んです
She
か。
didn't do anything for the baseball team.
こいつがどうチームの勝利に貢献したっていうのか。
それはですね、実は私がひなみ沢ファイターズのマネージャーだから
Oh
なんで
man,
す。
I'm staying away from this team.
マネージャ
With her as the manager and him as the coach? I don't want anything to do with this team again.
ー？嘘だろ。そんならなんで昨日の試合にいなかったんだよ。
She was actually the one in the full body cast, not Mion.
マネージャーはマネージャーでも幽霊マネージャーですから。でへ。
She seemed to think I'd forgive her if she stuck her tongue out and smiled, but I don't. She wasn't sorry at all.
シオンちゃんが来てくれないと試合に花がないんです。
Okay, keep it in your pants, dude.
練習までとは言いませんから、試合にくらいまた昔みたいに応援に来てくれませんかね。
Shion, we can replace you in a second with an identical copy, literally.
まあ考えておきます。ケイちゃんがひなみ沢ファイターズに移籍するんなら考えてもいいかな。
Don't do that.
私、かっこいい男の子がいないと応援する張り合いがないんです。
Did Shion just smoothly say something absurd? Yes.
シオン、あんたまだどこから湧いて出たの？
Suddenly, Mion came running over, latched onto my shoulders, and pulled me towards her.
あー、みーちゃんの妹さんだ。
It's just her sister.
ちーちゃん、こんにちは。
レナさん、まだ1回しか会ってないのに名前を覚えてもらって光栄です。
あ、こちらこそ。レナの名前を覚えててくれてありがとう。
Thanks for remembering me.
そんな挨拶はどうでもいいの。 ケイちゃんの勧誘なんてダメだからね。
Mion remembers what happened in chapter 2. She's like, we're not doing that again.
ケイちゃんは我が部のホープなんだから、野球なんかに引っこ抜かないで。
Mion gave a low growl as she grappled my arm. She looked like a little girl desperately clinging to her toy.
ケイチ君はうちの部活の期待の新人なの。
I prefer star player.
だからトレードとかは全然ダメなんだよ。
You could trade me away for Pro Bowser. Rena's smile hid a nonchalant bloodthirst. She was blocking Shion's way, ready to unleash the ultimate attack if she got within 2 meters of me. I felt like this was going to turn into a bloody battle.
それは残念です。じゃあ交渉はまたの機会に。あんたに交渉権なんかないの。単独なんでシオンまで呼んだわけ？
Yeah, why?
シオンは丸1年もサボってる幽霊部員じゃない。
You know, to be fair, Mion, she does have a job. It's not a great one, but she does have a job. Oh wait, Mion works as well. Never mind.
シオンちゃんがいると賑やかになって楽しいかなって思ったんですけどね。実に賑やかになりました。
That was what he planned for all along. Mission accomplished.
ほら、ケイちゃんおいでおいで。みんなでゲームやるよ。もちろん罰ゲーム付きでね。
Great. Can't wait.
しーちゃんもどう？ルールは簡単だし楽しいよ。
どうしようかな。私が参加すると勝っちゃいますから。お姉の部長としての面目を潰しちゃうと悪いですし。
Mion, now irritated, turned around with a glare. Mion is the best noises, doesn't she? Shion, I wouldn't do that. Mion got a gun. Mion's got a gun and she knows how to use it. Definitely.
なんですお姉。私も一緒に参加して姉妹対決にした方がいいですか？多分やめといた方がお姉のためだと思いますけど。あかべ。
What was that? What did you say? Akabi. That's not how you say ugh.
塩なんか混ぜてやらない。仲間外れ。べーだ。
Wow. Mion just avoided a direct confrontation. It seemed like the twins were completely incompatible with each other.
混ぜてあげないの？みーちゃんとの対決見たかったかな？
私、シオン嫌い。
Yeah, she definitely remembers what happened in chapter 2.
あいつと戦うのは苦手なの。
An angry Mion dragged me away. Slide.
頑張ってくださいね。ここで応援してますから。ケイちゃん、ファイト。おう。
Shion waved her hand at us, reveling in the bliss of reveling in the bliss of teasing Mion. All right, all right. Club activities had begun, which meant I needed to clear my mind. What was today's battle? Today's punishment game? I'd take anything on.
ほらほらケイチさん、覚悟なさいませよ。今日は徹底的に行きますわよ。
おう、上等だぜ。さとこだろうと誰だろうと手加減無用でぶっ潰してやるぜ。
Is it who can eat the most barbecue? Because you will lose.
そこをレナは漁夫の利で優勝だよ。僕はそれに小判ザメで優勝を狙いますです。はう、リカちゃんが小判ザメみたいにペター。
She's prepubescent, that's why.
お持ち帰り。
よしみんな、今日は大人数だから簡単で分かりやすいゲームにしよう。今日のゲームはね。
Oh, do we not even get to see the game? Oh, okay. Unless it's just cutting to the game right after this. Nope, we skipped the game. Everyone who lost the game dropped out and had to help us clean up after the barbecue. Shion, are you laughing at Mion? Shion laughed more uproariously than anyone I'd ever heard when she saw my loser face. Okay, okay. Was my getting bombed out of the game really that funny?
いやいや、あの時のケイちゃんの顔。お前らそれでも人間かよ。みたいな。
ちくしょう。初期の買い占めまでは作戦通りだったのに。
Was it just rock, paper, scissors?
あそこでサトコとリカちゃんの裏切りさえなければ。
It was going great until we had maintained a unified front. But Satoko had been quicker to betray me than I her. She was just a tiny bit better than me. Ugh!
だから北条を信じちゃいけないって警告したんですよ。
Build an army, trust nobody. Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun were unanimously wearing I told you so faces. Incidentally, those two were victims of Satoko's traps pretty early on as well.
さあ、富田君たちの分まで頑張るつもりだったのにな。
And once again, for the showdown, it didn't matter. Maybe this meant I still couldn't match up to the other members yet.
で、部活メンバーの最下位には何か罰ゲームがあるってことになってるんじゃなかったでしたっけ？
Shion remarked, as though forcing me to recall something I'd tried to forget, even for a moment.
そうだったかな。
そういえば前原さん、委員長と罰ゲームを決めるときかなり熱くなってましたけど、一体
Whoever loses has to have a conversation with Coach. It's
さっ
worse
きお姉
than
に
death.
エンジェルモートの制服を調達してくれって頼まれたんですけど、それと何か関係あります？できる限り大きめのサイズでって言われたんですけど。
Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun were giving me these complex, indescribable looks, mixing empathy, pity, and the desire to see something scary all at once. All I could do now was just laugh. Strangely enough, the more I laughed, the more it felt like I was actually funny. Ah! I lost!
あれあれ、前原さんどうしちゃったんですか？笑ったり泣いたり吠えたり。
It's called having an emotional day.
いいんです。あれは嫌がってるふりのジェスチャーなんです。罰ゲームを口実に得られる貴重な経験に興奮を隠せないだけなんです。ねえ。
No.
何が貴重な経験とは。
People freak out way too much in this. I held my head in the hands of agony. My state of mind could be summed up with a 3-letter word. It was... Coach gently put his hands on my shoulders. Was he comforting me?
前原さん、苦境を受け入れなければならない時はですね、厳しい指導を受けているメイド。
Will you shut up about slutty maids?
ほら、絶望的なシチュエーションがなんだか
I
楽
repeat,
しそう
can we
になって
please
きま
punch
せん
this
か？
guy?
いいじゃないですか。
Red in the face and indulging in his imagination, still holding my shoulders, Coach said, "Nope, not reading that. This guy's freaking weird AF. He's a 9.9. I had to wonder what kind of word associations he had going on in his head. I don't want to know. At the very least, it was much different than what was in mine. The first thing that comes into mind when I think of disciplining certainly isn't maids.
富田君、岡村君。
Yeah, I feel like this guy just always thinks of maids just all the time. It's years of indulging that particular behavior.
君たちの監督は実に面白いな。こんなのでよく監督が務まるな。
No and yes. Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun exchanged glances and answered with dry smiles. Then they added that he was a really nice person most of the time, which is something you'd normally say about a person like that. He has a great personality, except he doesn't. The coach's questionable revolution slowed to a stop, and then his expression returned to a clear, calm one, almost making what just happened seem like an illusion. He can switch gears way too fast. He's used to constantly looking over his shoulders for the cops showing up.
前原さんは力持ちみたいですからね。プレートを水場に持って行って洗っていただけますか？
了解です。
I hoisted the dirty barbecue plates, each with slimy oil clated to it, and looked for the wash basins. Ah, these are heavy! Where's the wash basins? Over there? Figuring I should make it there before my arms gave out, I headed towards it at a trot. A lot of the adults who had been helping out were using the wash basins, so I gave up and looked for a different set. I asked them, and they told me that there were more by the assembly hall too, so I headed that way. Rather than multiple basins, there was just one faucet there. I initially thought it would be too small to wash plates as big as these, but it would probably still be faster than waiting for a faucet to open up back there. I turned the faucet on and water, much nicer looking than it gushed forth. I put a plate under the faucet and scrubbed it with my hand to try to rub it clean. It didn't go very well.
はい。スポンジとクレンザー。
Thanks, Shion.
そんなの水だけで洗ったって無理です。
Oh, Keiichi never had to do the dishes growing up. It was Shion. She threw a brand new sponge in a container filled with cleaner to me.
お、サンキュー。
そんなの洗い場に置いて大人たちに任せちゃえばいいのに。つくづくケイちゃんっていい人です。
I got the feeling that wasn't quite a compliment. I answered her with a forced smile.
シオンがひなみ沢ファイターズのマネージャーだったなんて驚いたぜ。そういうのはめんどくさがってやらないやつだと思ってた。
ええ、めんどくさいですよ。ですから今は完全に幽霊ですけどね。
監督、帰ってきてほしいって言ってたじゃないか。
Yeah, but coach is freaking weird.
たまには帰ってきてやれよ。
まあ気が向いたら。
Shion made it sound like the end of the world would happen before she felt like it. Whoops. I couldn't keep washing the dishes while preoccupied with conversation, so I decided to take my task seriously. Shion neither offered to help nor got in my way. She just quietly watched the water flowing from the faucet.
そうそう、聞きましたよ。昨日の試合、ケイちゃんが大活躍したそうじゃないですか。
Yesn't.
褒めるなら俺よりもホームランを決めたサトコの方だろう。あいつ運動神経良かったんだな。俺驚いたよ。
サトシ君とは大違いです。きっと運動神経は妹に全部取られちゃったに違いないですね。
Shion smiled as she spoke, her eyes looking at something far away, betraying her reminiscence.
サトシ君？
北条サト子の兄です。北条サトシ君。あ、そっか。ケイちゃんって今年引っ越してきたんでしたっけ？なら会ったことありませんね。
I was a little surprised that Shion knew about Satoshi.
会ったことはないけど少しは知ってるよ。確か両親が亡くなった後転校したんだよな。
I avoided saying that he ran away from home and used the slightly more vague words that everyone else did.
転校？誰がそんなこと言ったんですか？
No, I killed him. Wait. why does she look like this? Okay, she looks outright evil in this one. In the other one, she looks just more mischievous. I hadn't yet realized that Shion's tone had changed slightly. Also, we're alone with...
い
Oh!
や、誰って？
Alright, here's where the creepy stuff starts happening. She's like, no, he didn't transfer. I killed him. And we're alone now. Shion...
誰だっけかな。誰かに聞いたんだよ。転校したって。
その誰かって誰ですか？誰かに聞いたから言ってるんですよね、転校って。
誰に聞いたかなんてよく覚えてないよ。転校だって言うならそれでいいだろう。別に問題があるわけじゃないし。
ありますよ。転校届が出されたわけですか？学校とかに。それを誰かが見た？それとも聞いた？
Shion, I don't like this. Around that time, I not only noticed how awfully caught up on the Shion was, but how startlingly dangerous her eyes had begun to look.
シオン？なんだよお前。目がマジだぞ。
With that, Shion seemed to realize the expression she was making. She took a deep breath, pretending to fix her hair, and went back to her composed expression from before.
すみません。
No, I didn't mean anything by it. You're crazy! I've always looked like this.
でもケイちゃん、よく知りもしないでサトシ君のこと転校とか言わないでください。本当にお願いしますね。
I realized I must have said something I shouldn't have. But I wasn't immediately sure of what I should apologize for, so I just said the one safe word for now. Sorry.
なんとなく転校と聞かされてそうだと信じてたんだよ。じゃあ実際は違うのか？
It was, of course. Preceded by his parents, he had left his sister to run away. But I wanted to try and avoid the words run away, so I pretended not to know. Upon seeing my flustered reply, Shion realized she was intimidating me and lowered her voice.
あ、すみません。別にケイちゃんを責めてるわけじゃないんです。ちょっと言葉がきつすぎましたね。謝ります。
別に気にしてないよ。
That was a fib. I was actually a little scared, even. Was there something wrong with saying he ran away? Was there some sort of misunderstanding in saying that he transferred? But before I could ask her, she turned on her heel to leave.
おいシオン。
じゃあ頑張ってください。ケイちゃんのプレートで最後みたいですよ。洗い物。
Her final remark reminded me of the dishes I had so easily forgotten about. So immersed in conversation where were we? What? So immersed in conversation were we that it got pretty late. Okay. I'm pretty sure they missed a comma there. I turned the faucet again to get the water flowing faster. Whoosh! I violently scrubbed the plate. When I turned back around, Shion was no longer there. Or was she? By the time I'd finished washing the plates, most of the other things had been cleaned up. The air had cooled off before I'd realized it, and as the heat that had stuck with us all day dispersed, a nice breeze started to blow. Was that our first taste of the horror to come? Could be.
The
barbecue's still not over, alright. Coach got everyone together to make his closing remarks. And with that, another fun day drew to its close. In the end, Mion ended the game with a magnificent victory. Satoko and Rika-chan, who had labored so hard to betray me, had fallen into a huge trap afterwards, leaving them frustrated about more than a few things. And them that take the sword shall perish by the sword.
そんなこと圭一さんに言われたくありませんわ。レナは誰の口車にも乗らなかったからね。2位になれたんだよ。レナはなかなか嘘に引っかからないのです。
She's skeptical.
勘がいいのですよ。
I'm surprised. She seems like she would fall for the first lie to come her way.
それを言ったらケイちゃんでしょ。他人を食い物にしてやろうと欲張って真っ先に自分が食い物に。友達を紹介すれば紹介するほど高収入なんてバカな商法に引っかかるんじゃないの？
Oh no, he fell for a multi-level marketing scheme?
へいへい、努力しますよ。とほほほ。
Even good friends will lay traps mercilessly and betray everyone in sight once they get into a serious enough game. But despite that, once it's all over, they can feel refreshed and laugh together. It reminded me of how we were all such great friends.
それよりも圭一さんの罰ゲームが楽しみでございますわね。でも本当に実現できますの？店長さんもそんなの嫌だって言うと思いましたよ。どうだろう。圭一くんすっごく可愛くなるかも。
I don't know why we need a special scene for this.
なるかも。見てみたいかも。僕もとても楽しみなのですよ。
Rika,
転
please
ばせ
no.
てふきふきをさせますです。
Rika, please no.
ああ、それはいいね。
Can we go back to creepy Shion?
なぜここ一番で俺は勝てないんだ。今日は絶対に勝ちたい。この罰ゲームは誰かにやらせてみたいと思うといつも負ける。足りないのか。勝利への信念が足りないのか。
Some days you just lose.
敗者の嘆きは蜜の味ですわね。かわいそかわいそなのです。圭一くんもこうやって強くなっていくんだね。去年のみーちゃんを見てるみたい。
Mi-chan last year? What, did she always lose and moan about it in the past? How very interesting. I didn't know our undefeated president Mion was once like that.
余計なことは言わなくていいの。
Mion hastily covered Rena's mouth. Everyone was watching burst out laughing. Finally, Rika-chan pulled on Satoko's sleeve.
さて、僕たちはそろそろ行かないといけないの
But
で
this
す。
is your house.
お夕飯のお買い物に行かないといけませんわね。
I thought that was dinner. I wanted to keep talking like this forever, but it was getting late. We split up with Satoko and Rika-chan and decided to get on our way home.
じゃあまた明日。学校で会おうね。
Everyone waved to each other and split up for the short time between now and tomorrow.
じゃあ行こう。
We began walking down the tall staircase leading from the shrine grounds. They forgot about the punishment! Whoa! As the sun started to set, the afternoon's heat began to disappear as though it was never there. Just listening to the chorus of the Higurashi was enough to make me forget about how hot it had been today.
そういえばまだ6月なんだよね。今年は梅雨とか全然ないでいきなり夏みたいな感じだね。
Huh. Now that I thought about it, she was right. It was June, the season of long rain, of hydrangeas and snails. I haven't seen a real rainy season since transferring here.
週間予報によると週明けあたりからはもうちょっと梅雨らしい天気になるらしいよ。大雨注意とか言ってたから綿流しにぶつからなきゃいいんだけど。
そうなんだ。やっぱり梅雨は梅雨らしい方がいいよね。レナは梅雨の長雨って結構好きだよ。
Rain is very nice.
長雨なんて気がめいるだけだって。ねえケイちゃん。
I was a little spaced out, so I was late in answering Mion. I was thinking back to my conversation with her sister. The creepy one? When I said that Satoshi transferred, Shion clearly got angry. She was mad at me for saying something so careless. I mean, it may have been a vague way of skirting around the fact that he ran away from home, but I don't think it was so bad that Shion would feel the need to be mad about it. I wasn't really satisfied with it. I felt like a child, completely ignorant of what he was being scolded for. So my thoughts spilled out of my mouth in a very direct fashion.
サトコに兄貴っていたよな。サトシって名前だっけ？
Rena, why are you blushing? As soon as I said the name Satoshi, Rena and Mion both lost their relaxed, comfortable mood and made strange expressions. Should I have avoided talking about this? That's what made me think. But I've already said it, so that's that. And I'd be lying if I said I wasn't interested.
サトシってどうしたんだっけ？引っ越したんだっけ？
That was such a transparent way of putting it, but in my desire to know everything, I feigned ignorance. I shot him! Mion turned around and looked to Rena for assistance. Rena looked between us, then quietly and softly spoke.
あれ言わなかったかな。転校しちゃったんだよ。
When I said those words to Shion, she got upset. So I answered her with the same words Shion had given me.
転校って誰がそんなことを言ったんだよ。
I had only intended to borrow Shion's words, but I said it exactly the same way she had, right down to the thorns in my voice. When I realized what I had done, I immediately tried to soften my remark.
本当に転校したなら転校届とかが学校に提出されるはずだろ。でもそんなの実際には出てないんじゃないのか？
Mion and Rena, their eyes grew wide. They were at a loss for words. I started to feel like I was doing something really bad. I thought they were only hiding the fact that Satoko's older brother ran away out of consideration for her.
別に二人を責めてるわけじゃないんだぜ。ただサトシはどうしたのかなって聞いてみてるだけのつもりで。
I wasn't trying to blame them. The fact that I had to remind them even looked like I was tormenting them with an impossible question. No, maybe I was actually bullying them. Maybe I'd lashed out to them in retaliation for Shion getting mad at me. This whole day had been so much fun, but now... Why did I go and say something like that made all of it meaningless? I couldn't help but regret my own careless curiosity. That's enough. Let's drop it now. As I was about to say that, Mion spoke up.
別に隠そうとか騙そうとかそういうつもりじゃないのを分かってほしいんだけど。
Mion's tone conveyed her genuine awkwardness. They sounded like the excuses of a child who had been presented with evidence of their own mischief.
サトシは転校したわけじゃないんだよ。
Mion said, resigning herself. But I felt bad for pushing her to say that. So, it's okay, Mion. Let's stop talking about Satoshi. Sorry for teasing you. I wanted to apologize. But right before that...
帰ってこないの。
Uh-oh. Unlike Mion's stammered reply, Rena was extremely clear and resolute.
帰ってこないって。
ある日から家に帰ってこないの。
He won't come back. That was a very strange way of putting it. Normally you would say that he hadn't come back yet. At least, I thought you'd only say it like Rena did if he wasn't capable of coming back. You wouldn't say it like that when talking about someone who ran away from home.
帰ってこないってどういう意味だよ。
Oh, it's this music.
じゃあサトシはどこへ行ったんだよ。
知らない。
Rena's word choice felt very cold to me. It was so cold that I couldn't muster a response right away.
だからさ、レナの言う通りなんだよ。ある日を境にサトシは家に帰ってこなかった。
Mio noticed the deadlock between us and hurriedly followed up on what Rena had said.
まあ村中みんなで探したし、警察も方々を探してくれたよ。それで家出じゃないかって話になってさ。
家出じゃないかって話になって。
When running away from home, I thought you were supposed to leave a note or something. So when Satoshi ran away, he would probably have left some kind of letter apologizing to Satoko. That was just kind of what I figured. But from the way Mion was talking, it seemed a little different than just running away from home.
警察の人が調べたらさ、サトシってバイトとかでコツコツとお金を貯めててさ、それをいなくなった日に全部下ろしてたのが分かったんだよ。で、名古屋駅だかでサトシによく似た人が目撃されたとかで。
He withdrew all his savings to fund his escape from home. Was that it? It seemed consistent enough to me, but before I could say anything.
私はそんなの嘘だと思う。サトシ君は家出なんかじゃない。
ちょっと待てよ。転校したわけでもなく、引っ越したわけでもなく、それで家出したわけでもないなら、一体サトシはどうして。
やめなよレナ。
Mion whispered to her. Rena, however, continued without interruption. And then she said this.
だってこれはお社様のたたりだもん。
たたり？
It took some time before I understood what Rena meant by that. Mion clicked her tongue and shook her head a little.
サトシ君は消える前に私に教えてくれた。
Oh, I haven't seen those eyes in a while. Oh, man, she's freaking creepy AF.
誰かに見張られている。後をつけられている。家の中にまでついてくる。
Rena, honey, go home and take your pills, please.
寝るとき、枕元に立って見下ろしてるって教えてくれた。
やめなよレナ。
それは間違いなくお社様のたたりの前兆。きっとサトシ君は心のどこかでひなみ沢を捨てて逃げ出そうという気持ちがあったんだと思う。それをお社様は許さなかった。
だからやめなって。
お社様はひなみ沢の守り神様。
Rena's like, I don't care what you're saying, Mion. I'm gonna plot exposition.
ひなみ沢を捨てて逃げ出そうとする人を絶対に許さない。私はそれを謝った。でもサトシ君はきっと謝らなかった。だから。
Angry Rena. Oof. I hate this. This is how much I hate you. Oh yeah. The remake style is by far the creepiest for this.
お社様のたたりに会ってしまったに違いないの。
お社様のたたりだって？
I hadn't intended to repeat it, but the words came out of my mouth anyway. Oyashiro-sama's curse.
警察が家出だって決めつけたって信じない信じない。私は絶対に信じない。そんなのたたりだと認めたくない村の偉い人たちが決めただけの嘘っぱち。お社様のたたりは信じようと信じまいと確かに。
Wham! Mion struck Rena in the head, and not in a joking way either.
いい加減にしろって言ってるでしょ。
No, oh my gosh! And now Rena just like has the face of like, oh, well, why did you strike me in the head? Now I have to contemplate your messy end. Yeah, okay. Here's the. In this art style, it just looks like she's like a little tired. In this one, it looks like she's hypnotized, and in this one, it looks like she is insane, but also still calculating. Pushing her to her limits. Actually, there was plenty of displeasure and anger in Mion's face at that moment. For a few moments after being hit, Rena looked astonished. That doesn't look astonished. That just looks like, oh dear. Have you guys seen the video of the cat whose like tail catches on fire, and instead of freaking out, he literally just like turns, stares at it, and is just like lets it burn out, then continues on like normal. And the video's just called like, oh dear, I seem to have caught on fire. It's like that kind of nonchalant. Perhaps the voices of the Higurashi calmed her frantic mind, because after a little while she regained her original calm expression. We arrived at the place we always split up with Mion. No one said a word until we got there. The voices of the Higurashi just tortured our ears with their buzzing. We'd always split up with Mion here, leaving just Rena and me. Today, however,
あのさ、ケイちゃん、
I don't think I would go alone with Rena. Not when she's off her meds.
前に漫画化すって約束したじゃない？
Oh, yes! Of course, Mion, you totally did. Sorry, Rena. You'll have to go on your own.
よかったら寄ってく？
Huh? She promised that? However, I quickly realized it was a convenient way of saying she wanted to talk to me alone.
あ、そうなんだ。じゃあレナは先に帰ってるね。
Maybe she realized it. Maybe she didn't. Thankfully, Rena quickly said she'd go home before us.
じゃあね、レナ。また明日。
うん、また明日ね。ケイチくんもあまりお邪魔しすぎないようにね。
Keiichi-kun, I've got my eyes on
もう
you.
夕方だから。
ちょっと本を借りに寄るだけだよ。じゃあな。
Considering the fun day we had, it was a very insipid, lonely parting.
さっきの、あまり気にしないでね。
By the way, this is the place where there's the torture bunker, so maybe we shouldn't be alone with Mion. After a little while, Mion finally spoke. Quite some time had passed since splitting up with Rena.
いや、別に。俺の方が悪かったと思う。
サトシの話は、別に隠してたわけじゃ
Look
ないん
what
だ
you
よ。
did. You said a bunch of weird stuff, and now Rena's going crazy again.
その、あまり触れない方がいい話だからさ。
We don't talk about Satoshi. At this point, I understood exactly what she meant by that. Judging by her odd interactions with Rena, I understood so well it hurt that I shouldn't ever talk about it again. Actually, if that's the case, then with Shion too. No, this is a bigger problem. Talking about it in the first place had been indiscreet. I shouldn't have been interested in it at all. But that's why I really had to think about it. About why everyone got so irritated. Idiot! Stop this, Keiichi Maebara! By the time I tried to warn myself, I had accidentally spoken already.
もう二度と聞かないからさ。正直なところを教えてくれないか。一体、サトシに何があったんだ。家でなんだろう。
For a long time, Mion remained silent, but finally, unable to endure it any longer, she began to speak timidly.
お社様のたたりの話は、
Yeah,
聞いたことある？
Rena just told me all about it.
ほんの少しくらいなら。
I got the gist of it. I only overheard someone in class talking about it, though. Oyashiro-sama was the name of the deity protecting Hinamizawa that they worship at the shrine that we had at the barbecue at today. And a few years ago, when they started talking about flooding Hinamizawa as part of the dam project, one of the people worked on the site died or something, and people blamed it on Oyashiro-sama's curse. That's how it was.
サトシの死んだ親ってのがさ、ダムの誘致派でね。
え？ひなみ沢の人って村中でダムに反対してたんじゃないのか？村人なのにダムの賛成派もいたのか？
They wanted to move away. The dam project that would flood the entirety of Hinamizawa. I'd heard the village all got together to fight the terrible project, but it was a little hard to believe there were villagers who were supporting it.
まあ、いろいろと事情もあってね。ダム計画に反対する人ばかりでもなかったんだけどさ。で、その親ってのが誘致派のリーダー格だったんだよ。
誘致派のリーダー格。つまりサトコとサトシの親がってことだよな。
うん。国はダム工事に伴って多額の保証金を用意してたからね。そのお金が欲しくてダム計画に賛成してた人たちも結構いたんだよ。
Money talks. Aside from a few households, Hinamizawa was, in general, not very affluent. And not because they were proud to inherit the land of the ancestors. It wouldn't be strange if some people wanted enough money to start a new life. But even in that case, they would have had to hesitate to say so, given the situation. It just so happened to be Satoko and Satoshi's parents who understood that and stood up to be their representative. By that standard, you might say Satoko and Satoshi's parents were very heroic. They volunteered to be hated, all to help those without much money who didn't have a voice.
それで運悪くその両親がさ、
Or was it sabotage?
お社様を祀るお祭りの日に事故死しちゃったんだよね。それでお社様のたたりにあったんじゃないかってことになっちゃったわけ。
I thought back to what Coach told me today. They went to a nature park as on a family outing and fell from a cliff.
でサトシが家出したのまでお社様のたたりってことにされちまったわけか。
まあ、うん、そんな感じ。
It was a bit of an evasive reply, but I felt it was wrong to ask any further, so I didn't press her for details.
もう説明するまでもないと思うけどさ、サトコにとっては両親の事故もサトシの家出も、そしてお社様のたたりなんて話も愉快な話じゃないのはわかるでしょ。
Understandable. Yeah, of course I knew. I could only nod silently.
だからさ、私たちはサトコの家族の話には触れないことにしてる。サトシのことは仮に聞かれても転校したってごまかすことにしてる。その辺の事情を汲み取ってもらえるよね。
They wanted to protect Satoko's happiness, her smile. As someone who thought that way once, even for a short time, I really did regret having been imprudent enough to broach the topic to begin with.
ああ、わかるよ。俺も軽はずみなことを聞いたと後悔してる。
When she heard that, Mion smiled, seeming a little relieved. With that understanding, thinking that I should get going, I began to make my way home. I could really have stopped by Mion's house, but it was already late. I'd stop by again the next time I had the chance. You better take some books with you, otherwise Rena might be like, I thought you said you were borrowing books, Keiichi. You lying to me?
じゃあな、ミオ。
You know how I feel about liars.
今日は悪かったな。また明日な。
うん、じゃあね。
We waved to each other. Then suddenly remembering something, Mion called out to me.
ケイちゃん、あとさ、サトコにだけじゃなくレナの前でもサトシの話は慎んでくれるかな。
え？
さっきので分かったと思うけどさ、レナってどういうわけかお社様のたたりの話だけは
Yes,
笑い事で済まないんだよ。
indeed.
転校してきた時から。
Yeah. Judging by how Rena was acting earlier, it was clearly no laughing matter to her. Ooh, this music is really good. Mion had interrupted the conversation for us. But if Mion hadn't been there, what might have happened?
どうしてレナはあんなにマジになるんだろうな。
Not only Rena either, but Shion too.
知らない。レナはね。あ、これ内緒だよ。言ったら絶好だよ。
Wow! Flat out? Mion emphasized this as her expression clouded even further.
言わないよ。で、レナが何だってんだよ。
お社様のたたりに会ったことあるんだって。
え？
私は悪いけど被害妄想過剰な何かの思い込みじゃないかって思ってるんだけどね。でも本人はそう言ってるし、そう信じてる。
I'm gonna need more details. Is she saying like earlier in her life, or is she remembering one of the last chapters?
茶化すとかなり怒る。レナは普段はちゃらけてるけど、怒るとかなり怖い。
Yes! Out of all the characters, I think Rena is the most terrifying when she gets crazy. More so than Shion was.
分かってるよ。レナの前でも言うなってことだろ。
Like, crazy Rena from chapter 1 terrified me in a way very few fiends have. And it was fantastically done.
サトシの話。
うん。できればこの話題にも二度と触れるべきじゃないと思うね。レナのためにもサトコのためにもさ。
For everyone else's too. And if I must say, for your own sake too, Kei-chan. With her silence, Mion made sure I knew that.
そうだな。うん。分かったよ。
ありがとう。
Saying only that, she waved her hand and began walking away. I need books. I watched her go, a little dazed, and then started walking myself. You need books! Rena's gonna be like, hey, where are the books? Satoko's older brother, Satoshi. Had he run away from home? Or had he been a victim of the curse and disappeared forever? Whichever the case, none of this was anything I should have asked about. The cooling air forced me into self-reflection. I wanted Satoko to smile, yet my curiosity easily defeated me, and I frivolously tried to step into the dark side of things in a joking way. I'm shameful. I wanted today to be exactly like yesterday. I wanted tomorrow to be just as fun as today, too. So why did I go and do something like that? We were having a blast at the baseball game yesterday. And today we had a blast at the big barbecue party, too. It was lots of fun. But then I went and almost nullified all those fun times. I would have to be more careful starting tomorrow. I would put all this unpleasant stuff behind me forever. Like hell, I'm gonna let my enjoyable life end because of how careless I was today. If only Chapter 2 Keiichi could think that. But the more I thought about that, I'd be more careful starting tomorrow, the more I couldn't get rid of the ominous thought that I'd already put an end to those enjoyable days of what I'd just done. Hey, wait. Calm down, Keiichi Maebara. The gears of destiny are freaking gigantic, aren't they? What happened just now was trivial. It doesn't make any sense to think my life will be totally different starting tomorrow. But even though I understood it logically, the mist in my heart wasn't going to fade, until tomorrow turned out to be as fun as today.
変だぞ俺。さっきのみんなとのやりとり、ちょっと気にしすぎだぜ。
I wish tomorrow would come already. I wanted it to make me understand how absurd my insignificant doubts really were. That night was long. Okay, now it's starting to get good. Oh, wow, come on! We were so close! We were so close to getting through a stream without a bot coming through and ruining things. Doggone it. Oh, that's a lot of new tips, my gosh. Mystery Meat having a barbecue party with everyone. I don't like that name, Mystery Meat, but alright. The slacking manager. Oh boy, with Shion.
シオンさんも少しは手伝ってください。
Oh boy, my coach.
女の子に重いものを運ばせようって言うんですか？そんなだからいい年になっても相手が見つからないんですよ、監督は。
That's sexist.
ですね。そういうのを曰くこう言います。余計なお世話です。
Alright, that's a good one, coach. He was loading the station wagon with heaps of equipment we'd use for today's barbecue meeting. All the fathers and sons who had helped were starting to get on their way.
さて、シオンさんはどうしますか？あなた、ここまでは何で来ました？自転車でしたら、積んで送って差し上げますよ。
I wouldn't want to ride with the coach.
バイクだからいいです。
She doesn't either.
お心遣いだけで嬉しいってことにしときます。
今日は来てくれて嬉しかったですよ。やはりマネージャーさんがいないとパッとしませんからね。
まだ私マネージャーなんですか？1年も丸々サボってんだから。こんな無能マネージャー、いい加減に解雇するべきだと思いますよ。
No one else wants to be manager, so you're stuck here.
シオンさんが辞めたいって自分で言えたらいつでも解雇してあげます。
ずるいな。早く解放してくださいよね。試合があるたびに来ないかと電話がかかってくるの、もううざくてかなわないんですから。
Too bad.
シオンちゃんももっともっと素直になれば、とってもキュートで可愛い女の子なのに。お父さんは悲しいですよ。一体どこでねじ曲がってこんなにひねくれてしまったんだか。ああ、お父さんの愛の抱擁で力強く包み込めば目が覚めますか。でしたら遠慮なく。ほら。
Coach was fooling around with all his might, but Shion just smiled into the distance without responding. She's like, and that's why I'm riding my bike.
何も変わってない。監督が変な人で、みんなのにぎわいも何も変わ
You're
ってな
still
い。
a creeper, coach?
サトシ君だけいないとおっしゃりたいのですか。帰ってきますよ。きっと待っている人がいるんですから。
勝手なこと言っててください。
彼も罪作りな人ですよね。こんな可愛い彼女を置き去りにしてどこへ行ってしまったんだか。
So he and Shion were a thing. Oh.
彼女
Unless the coach is just being super creepy again.
誰が
Oh, never mind.
もういつまで笑ってるんですか？
Okay, well maybe she had a thing for
監
him.
督
Alright, coach, I've had just about enough of you. Coach bent over and laughed heartily for a little while.
ではまたお会いしましょうね。試合にもたまには応援に来てくださいよ。
No. Oh, he was talking to her.
気が向いたら
Also no.
私マネージャーなんか全然もうやる気ないんですから。
いいんですよ。あなたが嫌ならいつでもクビにしてあげますよ。
You fired.
嫌がるのを無理やりってのは私の性分ではありませんからね。
はいはい。
That was the least threatening grr I've ever heard.
すみませんねすみませんね。私の負けです。気が向いたらまた応援に来ますので今日は堪忍してください。
おっと、もうこんな時間。機材返す約束の時間が。先方をもうだいぶ待たせてますね。
Well, maybe you should stop creeping out with the girls
では
and
今日はこの辺で
leave.
また次の試合でお会いしましょう。
ええ、気が向いたらね。さよなら監督。
Dang. I don't know why we needed that scene, but alright. Copy of the preliminary autopsy before Edgeworth updated it. The autopsy suggests the victim was killed in the following manner. 1. Entire body found in restraints. Traces but left behind from when the body seemed to have been bound indicated usage of a specific restraining table rather than rope or another common method. Finger joints on either hand appeared to have been bound especially tightly. Highly likely that the table was either specially made or homemade given this information. I wonder where this table was coming from. 2. Both ears and nose severed with a sharp blade. Ew. Traces of the restraint and other things seem to suggest that there was at least one more other than the one who severed these body parts holding down the victim's head. Possible that multiple blades were used, with one of them most likely being scissors or shears. Ew. 3. 5 nails penetrated fingers on each hand. 1 long nail stuck in each joint of each finger for each hand, for a total of 30. Ugh! The deceased's fingers were nailed to wooden planks 20 square centimeters large. Extremely likely these planks were part of the restraining table. In addition, it is likely the table was originally designed for just such a purpose. 4. Abdomen incised, intestines removed. The incision in the abdomen is likely to have been a technique grounded in the medical methodology using a sharp blade. Estimated that there was still no threat to the victim's life at this stage. After this, the organs inside the incision were dismantled and removed. The victim likely died as a result of the process. 5. Body disposed. After fastening a dumbbell to the victim's neck using a commercial pet collar, the victim was likely abandoned in the Auge River's third drain. Judging by the dumbbell's weight, it's highly possible they would have needed at least 3 grown men to have disposed of the body. To Uisi-san. Here's a copy of the preliminary autopsy of the slaughtered corpse in the Auge River. Chief Shigeharu sees this as having a possible relation to the S group. What are your thoughts, Uisi-san? Isn't that the body we were getting an indication of at the beginning? East round 3. Is this going to be Uisi commenting on things? It is! He's back.
出ましたね、ロンチュンドラさん、マンガンです。
なんすかそれ。なんでドラが3つも入んすか。
バカモンが大石がテンパイしとんの分かっててカンドラ増やしよってからに自業自得じゃぞ。
チュンさらしたらドラを上乗せするぐらいしかやることないじゃないですか。役杯さらしたらドラそばは切っちゃダメですよ。
Uisi grinned meaningfully as his buddies, swearing, began breaking down the walls and reforming them.
時に大石さんどうですか。割れましたか。なんじゃい。ああ、例のドブ川惨殺死体の話かの。何か手がかりはあったのか。
ねえ、まあ裏はそっちで取ってくださいよ。
さすが。何者です仏。
間宮里奈、本名は律子。
岸骨フラワーロードにあるブルーマーメイドってキャバクラに勤めてたみたいっす。
やれやれ、そらやばい店じゃな。確か園崎家の若頭の店じゃろ。
園崎あった。 S 号関連か。難航しそうな山だな。
Lovely.
噂じゃ仏さん、園崎の上納金に手をつけちゃったらしいっす。話じゃかなりシャレにならない規模らしいっす。
女が上納金に手を出したか。裏に男がいそうじゃのう。女の単独犯なんてそうそうないぞい。
どうせもう死んでますよ。死体がまだ出ないだけで。
そうそう、おいさん。女の同居人生きてるみたいですよ。
生きてる？じゃあこれから死ぬんでしょうね。害虫が害虫を駆除してくれるんだから、本当に素敵な自浄機能だと思いますよ。
その紐なんですがね、北条鉄平なんですよ。
Oh, another 北条。
北条？誰だい？
北条鉄平。去年ひなみ沢で起こった主婦撲殺事件の仏のご主人ですよ。事件の後姿を消したって聞いてましたけど。そうか、その女のところに転がり込んでたか。
ますますに園崎の匂いがプンプンだの。
彼氏は今どこに？
女のアパートに同居してたんすがね。女が自分を捨てたと思ったみたいで、店やたまりのあちこちを探し回ってるらしいっす。
Interesting. So there's another Hojo out there. Well then, that was fun. But that's where we're going to have to end it for tonight. Hey, we're at the end of Chapter 4, so thanks for joining in, everybody. We'll be continuing our Sacred Stones Iron Man this week, Wednesday and Friday, and we'll be continuing Higurashi next Sunday. Hope you guys tune in for that. Otherwise, have a fantastic rest of your night, and God